arrested yesterday. This eyewitness says James made no attempt to flee, didn't even try to hide.
When I saw it, I was really in shock because my thought was, it's the East Village, right? It's the middle of the day, and this guy just seems like he's casually going for a walk.
James facing a federal terrorism charge. The number of people applying for unemployment jumped by 18,000 last week, hitting 185,000. It's a higher number than economists had been expecting. Watching Wall Street, stock futures mixed ahead of the opening bell. Right now, the Dow futures are up 5 points, NASDAQ futures down 30, S&P futures 9 points lower. More on these stories at townhall.com.
According to the World Gold Council, while demand for gold is surging, 72% of people reply they lack the necessary know-how to do so. Hi, my name's Adam Barata, owner of Advantage Gold, hands down the highest-rated gold dealer in the country. The reason? We lead with education. We've taught millions of investors how to buy gold safely and securely, and our in-depth gold guide explains everything you need to know. From what type of metals to consider, if an IRA or cash transaction is best, and how you can be certain that the gold you're buying is authentic, certified, and real. Call 800-900-8000 now and get our #1 rated first-time gold buyer's kit. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the information you need to secure your future. Call 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000 today.
Israeli forces have fatally shot 2 more Palestinians in the West Bank.
The Palestinians who were killed came from across the West Bank. The youngest was 14, from a village near Bethlehem. The Israeli military said he'd thrown a petrol bomb at soldiers. Close to Ramallah, where another Palestinian was killed, footage shows dozens of young men throwing rocks at Israeli armoured vehicles as occasional gunshots are heard. The Shin Bet security service said 3 Palestinians planning an attack against Israelis were detained there. Earlier, a Palestinian human rights lawyer was shot dead near Nablus. The other deaths were in Jenin, which has been a main focus of Israeli military raids and arrests after 2 local men carried out deadly shooting attacks in Tel Aviv.
The BBC's Yolanda Nell in Jerusalem. Antivirus control shutting down some of China's biggest cities, fueling public irritation as infections rise. That's hurting a slowing economy, prompting warnings of possible global shockwaves. News and analysis at townhall.com. Researchers now say most people who tear an Achilles tendon can skip surgery, opting instead for a cast and rehab.
In the largest study of its kind, scientists in Norway tracked 526 patients, mostly men with an average age of 39, who tore their Achilles tendon. The patients either had minimally invasive surgery, a standard surgery, or non-surgical treatment, a brace to immobilize the affected foot, and physical therapy. All patients got rehab therapy and were told to avoid risky activities for 6 months. The study found only slight differences in the recovery outcomes after about a year. The study was published online Wednesday in the New England Journal of Medicine. I'm Mike Gracia.
Drug maker Pfizer is now talking about expanding its COVID-19 booster shots to include healthy 5 to 11-year-olds. The drug maker planning to seek FDA authorization. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Ringing through it, flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Wednesday, Thursday, everybody.
Thursday. Don't you take us back there.
You don't want to go back?
Don't you do that to me.
I'm sorry.
Don't you put that evil on me.
Happy Thursday, everybody.
That's right. It's almost a weekend.
It is.
I'm almost kid-free for a minute.
Wow. That's why you're excited.
Get to unchildren the house for a second.
What's Easter weekend now? You're still going to be seeing the kids.
It's Easter weekend. I'm still going to see the kids. Yeah, I'm probably going to do something. I mean, I have a remote on Saturday. I was going to take him to the Richland hunt, but I'm going to be elsewhere on Saturday. So
all right.
We'll see what happens. I'll probably do something with them on Easter Sunday.
Okay. Good deal. Yeah. So, but still with the kids.
Yeah.
Easter weekend. So, good deal. Of course, man, week's been crazy.
This has been a week for sure.
Of course, got some updates from the fire up in Ruidoso here with the McBride fire. Last updates, 0% contained.
Right.
5,381 acres burned, and unfortunately, last night they had their first fatalities from the fire. Looks like yesterday afternoon there was an elderly couple reported missing, and they were found. Remains were found at one of the structures there. They haven't released names or nothing.
Sure.
Unfortunately, there's their first casualty. Sorry, I got something in my throat. It's like, ugh.
That didn't help. You're like, throw the mic across the room. I can still, clear as day. But yeah, that's terrible to hear. But yeah, it's at the very least, it's 0% contained. But it sounds like they're, for the most part, controlling the fire line as best they can.
Well, hopefully with the winds being a little calmer today.
Yes, absolutely.
That will give them a chance to get ahead of it a little bit.
It started to finally kind of die down around like 5:30 last night. The winds.
The winds.
Yeah, finally started to kind of calm a bit.
Here, I don't know about up
here,
there, but yeah. So just keep praying for them and keep you updated as we get updates through that fire. But again, if you go to on Facebook there, the McBride Fire 2022 Facebook page. That's actually an official page for the fire for updates.
And I understand they have a page now for the Nogales fire as well.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it starting to...
Yeah, because I guess the fire itself starting to gain some traction. That one, from what I understand, is from a downed power line.
Oh, okay.
The Nogales fire. They still don't know the origin of the McBride fire.
It could be any number of things.
Really could.
Cigarette butt out a window to a spark.
Gender reveal party.
Who knows? Any spark could do it. It's a tinderbox up there right now. So, yeah, it's kind of rough.
So I always tell you, extinguish your smoking material, put your fires out completely before you walk away. We are living in a tinderbox.
Yeah, and probably will be for the next several days. Tis the season.
Yeah.
Till we get some moisture. A steady batch of moisture out of this. We're gonna be dealing with it for a while.
Happy fire season, everybody. What was a doggone shame was we had my daughter in the car. Or I had my daughter in the car the other day, and the forecast. Jen was doing the forecast, and she likes using the phrase "fire weather." So I had to explain to my daughter, my 8-year-old daughter, what fire weather was, because she was under the assumption that meant fire was going to rain down from the sky. Is what my daughter thought fire weather was.
Well, I don't know. I feel like in this day and age.
Yeah, I know, but maybe not too far off. But
it's possible.
You gotta kind of pick your vocabulary.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like what was the move? Oh, it was like some NFL game years ago, and it was around one of the major hurricanes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if it was like Andrew or it was one of the ones on the East Coast. It wasn't like Katrina or nothing. It was one of those East Coast
Andrew was
ones.
the real big one from when I was young. That was the one that everybody was taught. Like before Katrina, that was like the one that everybody was like, "Whoa, you remember Andrew?"
All I remember and it was like Jacksonville or Carolina or one of those, and they just had like the team they were playing was a team that just went, like their city went through a hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
And when they, at the game, like one of the first songs that was like, like, you know, intro was Rock You Like a Hurricane. Yeah. It was so weird.
Oh, that's just poor timing.
Yeah. I don't remember all the details about it, but it seemed like it was a while ago, like 10, 15 years ago.
I would have to look that up.
I don't remember all the details about it. I just kind of remember it happening. Everyone was like, ew, that looks bad. So.
Poor Mike's dying over here. Here, why don't you give me that paper? I'll give him the rundown. So, I'm gonna give you the rundown this morning since Michael is he's currently about to.
It's like
pass
something
away.
on my throat or something. I can't get it cleared out. Sorry.
I'm going to attempt to. I can't read. I have a real hard
you
time.
Can't read
reading
my
this.
handwriting?
Well, I can. It's just you use so many different abbreviations.
Okay. Well, I spelled out this abbreviation because that's a long one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's actually, as writing goes, this isn't my worst stuff. I've written much worse than this.
Sure.
So
pronunciations, we'll call it.
There you go. We're going to start off this hour. Aaron, I believe it's Baylock, is going to be joining us here from the PVACD. You know what that stands for?
Pecos Valley
Artesian.
Okay, Artesian.
Conservancy District.
Oh, I was going to say Caring Dads?
Compact discs.
Compact discs?
Yes. No. Pecos Valley Artesian Conservancy District.
Oh.
So Aaron's going to join us. Probably first learn us what that PVACD is. But they are hiring. They're looking for great engineering. They deal with water. That's what they deal with. But anyway, we'll talk with him.
Shortly after Michael dies. We'll do that coming up here in just a few minutes on this Thursday morning. Is just something in the throat or?
Well, I woke up this morning like you ever had like you have like a heartburn and you kind of I try to say it without being gross. Throw up in your mouth.
Yeah, aspirated.
Yeah, I kind of did that this morning when I woke up in my sleep, and I've been trying to clear it out, and then ever since then I've been hacking.
Yeah,
so.
that's not for nothing. That's what took my father out.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, just so you know. Literally for like a year after it, a good 2 years after it happened, anytime that would happen to me at night, like I would feel the acid in the throat, I would go stand straight up to my feet from a prone position, straight up to my feet and run to the bathroom. Just because I don't want to die. So yeah.
Well, it just happened this morning. I woke up and I was like,
But see, you woke up, so you're good.
I did.
Yeah.
But I've been hacking, just trying to get it.
That's a bummer.
Like if I try to push, it makes me hack. So now I'm sweaty because of all the workout.
You basically been doing like an ab workout over here.
My guns are so sharp. Yeah. What's baseball, not football? I don't know. Website. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, here it is. Here's the story. It was baseball, not football.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Braves apologized for playing Rock You Like a Hurricane during series against the Marlins. That's what it was. That's what it was. Yeah, classy, huh?
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. It was what? It was an accident. Didn't mean to.
Yeah, so
anyway. Means to.
Back to the list here. So Aaron's going to join us here from the PVACD. Next hour, an 8 o'clock hour, Mayor Tim Jennings is going to join us tonight's City Council meeting. So newly elected Mayor Tim Jennings will join us. We'll preview tonight's meeting and get an update from him. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, we'll have the folks from the Roswell Literacy Council join us, give us an update on what's happening there. So
very good.
Plus, we'll have all of your features that include news of the local and the national variety, along with your town hall, Wall Street updates, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show.
Cut to break so you can clear your throat.
I think it's better.
Feels so bad.
It's easing up now. It was just I was having a little spell there when I try to drive my voice and it make me cough, and that's what was happening.
That's what I'm worried about, though. You're going to be, you're doing a morning show. That's sort of driving your voice all day.
Well, I'm hoping it's starting to ease up now.
All right.
Getting better. It's just when I woke up here and in the shower. I was trying to clear it all out. Mm-hmm. So I probably sounded awful in the shower. I'm sure my wife was about to keel over in there.
Well, you know, if you'd stop singing them operatic arias every morning. I know. Oh, sole mio.
Well, you know, a man's got to shine.
I get it.
Even when it's 5:30 in the morning.
You got to pick your spots.
That's right.
I get it.
It is 7:16. Let's get you up to date with the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty mild today. Afternoon highs in the upper 70s to low 80s, and we should get plenty of sunshine with low pressure headed out of our area, so not too windy. We'll be in the low 40s and clear for the overnight hours, and then the wind picks up a little bit on Friday, mainly in the afternoon, gusts up to 30 miles an hour, sunshine, and a lot warmer with upper 80s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, let me get to the weather here. Currently 42 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 9%. Winds currently out of the northwest at 9 miles per hour. We do have the red flag warning. That's going to kick in at noon today, so we still will have lower humidity with some rain chances here. Looks like that red flag warning will remain in effect through 8 p.m. this evening. Sunny for today is right around 80. Winds will be out of the northeast, 5 to 15 miles per hour. For tonight, mostly clear. Looking at an overnight low of 43. Winds will be out of the southwest at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow, we're warming up near 90. Sunny, highs near 90 tomorrow. We also have a fire weather watch tomorrow. That's going to kick in at 11 a.m. and remain in effect through 8 p.m. tomorrow. That may get upgraded depending on, you know, how the winds and all that happen. But winds tomorrow or on Friday will be a little breezy for the afternoon. Southeast winds 5 to 10 early, but 15 to 20 for the afternoon. Friday night mostly cloudy, with an overnight low of 49 degrees. West winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. They'll drop down 5 to 10 after midnight. For you Saturday, partly cloudy, a high of 86 expected. Winds will be out of the northwest, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday, sunny skies, highs right around 88 degrees. And then when you head back to work and school on Monday, looking at sunny skies, highs right around 82. Believe it or not, the word rain is in the forecast for Tuesday of next week. A 20% chance of showers possible. We'll see how that shapes up. Got a lot of time between now and then, so we'll see if that amounts to anything. All right, it is 19 minutes after 7 o'clock. We're going to take a 3-minute commercial break, and then we'll talk to Aaron from the Pecos Valley Artesian Conservancy District on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Whether you're buying or selling, no one likes to be pressured into making a decision. So when Roswell Ford makes an offer to buy your vehicle, you'll have 7 days to think about it. Roswell Ford is always looking for gently used cars and trucks like yours, and we'll make you a cash offer on the spot. It'll probably be more than the other guys, and we'll give you a week to think about it. That's just the way we do business at the Tailgate Nation. So it only makes sense to see us first when you're ready to sell or to buy. Roswell Ford has southeastern New Mexico's largest inventory of nice pre-owned vehicles. Each one has survived a rigorous 139-point inspection, and Roswell Ford gives you a 3-day money-back guarantee. So if you find something you don't like, you can just bring it back. With the days getting longer and summer driving on the horizon, now's the time to start shopping for your next vehicle. So come see us at Roswell Ford, the Tailgate Nation, where we'll always give you time to think about it. 9th and Main.
How do you know if someone loves you? Often someone will tell you that you're loved, but wouldn't it be better if they showed you? That's exactly what God has done. First, He told us. All through the Bible, God says that He loves us. But He didn't stop with words. He then showed His love. You know the verse. For God so loved the world that He gave His one and only Son. The interesting thing about God's love is that it's not based on who we are, but on who He is. God doesn't love us because we deserve it. He loves us because it's His nature. This kind of love doesn't exist anywhere else, and it will never let us down. Have you allowed yourself to experience the true love of God? It's available and God longs to give it to you, but you must be willing to accept it. Come and join us at Country Club Road as we not only encounter the love of God, but then joyously reside in it.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Make your home a smart home with smart home Wi-Fi from Plateau. Now you can connect more devices to fast, reliable Wi-Fi throughout your home. That means faster speeds with no downtime or lag. Enhance your connection, expand your reach, and experience whole home device control and protection with Plateau. Plateau offers true fiber with options starting as low as $60 a month, all with no caps and no hidden fees. Call today, 575-755-1000, or stop by 1001 South Main in Roswell. Get smart home Wi-Fi today from Plateau. Try true, trusted.
When it comes to the security of your home or business, you want a local company, one that has a personal investment right here in Southeast New Mexico. Zenith Security Services is your local Honeywell dealer. Zenith can handle all of your business and residential alarms, cameras, and IT services, as well as home theater installations, all from a local company. The Spring Starter Package is now available at Zenith Security Services for your home or business. Call the real Zenith Security Services today, 575-626-3521. Zenith Security Services, protection with a local touch.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 47.2% of all statistics are made up on the spot. Is this true? I'd say chances are about 50%. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 7 o'clock. And joining us in studio here this morning is Aaron Bullock. Did I get it?
You're pretty close, yeah.
Close enough. Close enough for government work?
Yep, absolutely.
Very good. Joining us this morning, he's from the Pecos Valley Artesian Conservancy District.
You nailed that one.
Good deal. Which, first of all, good morning, sir. How are you doing
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
I guess we'll probably start at what the PVACD does, and it deals with water. I think that part we can figure out from the title there, but kind of give us some background about what the Pecos Valley Artesian Conservancy District is all about.
Sure. The Pecos Valley Artesian Conservancy District, you can abbreviate that with PVACD. It was created in 1932.
Okay.
And in the documentation that created the district, the legislation that authorized the court order that created us.
Yeah.
Basically, our mission and purpose is to conserve the waters of the Pecos Valley.
Gotcha.
And so that's this real simple directive that is kind of all encompassing.
Gotcha.
And the reason it was created is because the people of the Roswell area realized that because we have this artesian aquifer here, that was worth protecting. It was worth investing in. And so the PVACD has played an active role in conserving our water ever since. One of the big things that we do is we own and we maintain a water meter on all the wells within the valley.
Okay.
And so, you can't have an accurate accounting of how much water you're using unless you can meter it. And so
gotcha.
That's part of our responsibility.
Gotcha.
Another big thing that we do, and we've been doing since we were created, the year the district was created, they lobbied for $20,000 from the legislature, and that money was spent to plug abandoned wells.
Okay.
And again, that goes back to protecting the aquifer.
Sure.
And for those who don't know what an artesian aquifer is, all that means is it's a body of water that's in the ground, and it's confined and it's under pressure. And so when you drill down to it, that water is going to come up towards you.
You're releasing the pressure.
And that's really unique. And so we don't want to lose that pressure.
Sure.
And so if you've got a well that was drilled, in the 20s or earlier.
Sure.
And
that's a potential place for that pressure to leak out.
Sure, that casing can deteriorate over time. It rusts and then it starts leaking. And it may not be running out at the surface, but it can leak up into the shallow aquifer, and we want to try and prevent that. So that's a big part of what we do. When anytime we find an abandoned well, we've got a drilling rig. We will set up on it. We will clear the hole down to that clay layer, and we will plug it so that those two aquifers can't communicate. So that's a big part of what we do.
Okay. Now, and this is where I probably should have done better in science class, but when you look at the pressure, is that what keeps the water flowing, so to speak, that underwater, where it's obviously the rivers and things is that pressure help keep the water coming to this aquifer, basically keeping the water system moving the way it should?
The easiest way to think about it is taking a water bottle and squeezing it.
Okay.
The water's flowing in at an angle. Imagine it coming from Rio Doso, and it's running downhill, and at some point it goes under a layer that won't let it go up, and so that water behind it is pushing down on it.
Okay.
And we're lower in elevation down here. You drill a hole that gravity is pushing that water down and creating pressure to push it up at the lower elevation where you drill the hole.
Gotcha.
And so gravity works.
Now, does the water that feeds these underground, is it the rainwater that we get in the mountains that comes down the mountains and goes, is that basically what that supplies these aquifers?
We refer to it as a karst aquifer.
Okay.
And what that means is if you imagine a sponge, that's what the rock layer looks like, a sandstone formation. And so the water's able to move through it really easily. There's a lot of holes in it, as opposed to imagining a granite rock where water can't move through it.
Gotcha.
So you've got this real porous formation. The fancy word for it is transmissivity.
Okay.
That's how readily the water moves through it. And that's why we're able to have these high production wells pump a lot of gallons per minute.
Okay.
Is because the water can rush in to meet that as you're pulling it out.
I catch
and
it. Okay.
So we've got such a tremendous aquifer here. The formation, the way it recharges, that's the beauty of it. Is unlike most areas, we're not mining the water.
Gotcha.
And when I say mining, you can use that. Imagine mining coal.
Sure.
When the coal's gone,
you're down there digging, looking for little streams and whatnot.
Once it's gone, it's gone, because you're not making anymore. And that's the way most of the well, I won't say most. A lot of the groundwater is in this state. It's really old water.
Mm-hmm.
The recharge rate is really slow. Unlike here, where when we have these big storm events, our aquifer levels jump up, because we've got this ability to take that water in quickly, and we have a rapid recharge. And so it's just a really dynamic system, and that's what has allowed us to do what we do for so long.
Which is, I'm assuming, one of the lucky reasons. Like you look here in Roswell, in this area, and you don't hear, like during the summer when the drought conditions, you're not hearing radio stations and TV stations telling you that you can only water your lawns every other day of the week or whatever, like you hear in Albuquerque and these other parts. And it's mainly because of this aquifer we got sitting underneath us. Obviously, that doesn't mean we can't abuse it and just start running up the streets shooting water guns everywhere. But you know what I mean? But at the same time, we're not in dire straits like other parts of the state where some seasons are like, are we going to have enough water to get through the season here? And we don't have those issues.
Absolutely, and that's kind of a blessing and a curse.
Yeah,
I'm a little bothered by the fact that other parts of the world do such a better job at what we call the per capita use.
Sure,
because they're really working to use less water, and because we've never had to worry about it.
Not a problem for us.
Right.
So
it's not a problem. But the unfortunate byproduct of that is we have a lower consciousness of what's going on with our water.
Sure.
And that's one of the things we hope to start addressing is
we need to be better
make
stewards.
People stop and think about what we're doing. And we've got such a good resource. We don't want to take that for granted. And
Sure.
I think it would help if we can start engaging people in a way that they're aware of what the condition of our aquifer is. We're in the process right now of trying to take the training wheels off of a telemetry program, which will allow us, we have 10 monitor wells in the valley, and we've been reading those since the 30s.
Okay.
And so we read them 3 times a month. We can tell you where our water levels are at, and we put this system in that now we're going to be able to read them once a day. And so, and we could read them much more frequently than that. That's just the least amount I could select to read them.
Sure.
But that there's going to be a tremendous amount of data coming in, and we want to make that accessible. And we want people to be interested in that there, so that they can look and see what the condition of the aquifer is. And
Sure.
we go through these dramatic cycles. We've seen the aquifer in much worse shape than it is right now. We've seen it in much better shape. in my mind, it's not a crime for us to strain the aquifer. When it's dry, that's what it's there for. We're able to use it. And because it will recharge when we do get inflows, I don't worry too much about that. But we do need to be working on ways we can be more flexible and a little more reactive to changing conditions. And, you know, you hear a lot of talk about the federal government's buzzword of the decade is climate change. And I look at that from the perspective, we've been preparing for climate change for decades. We've always just referred to them as long-term drought.
Right.
But
we live in a desert.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, one of my hot button phrases there is normal weather patterns. The Roswell area doesn't have a normal weather pattern.
Yeah, that's the normal part. The normal part is it's not normal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Normal's a setting on your dishwasher, not our weather around here. We have what we call a really flashy system, and that means we get those big, strong storm events, but we're able to utilize those rapid inflows. And the highest compliment I've heard was from a hydrogeologist that once told me that he said, if you guys can keep doing what you've been doing, you, unlike most of the state, have an infinite water supply.
Nice.
And if you stop and think about that, there's a big if in there. But what we've been able to do is we've been able to balance our withdrawals with our inflows.
It's a system where it meets the needs but doesn't. It basically balances perfectly. We take what we need, it replenishes what we take, and it works very well together.
Right.
So.
And so these monitor wells that we've updated here, that's going to allow people to be able to see where our aquifer's at. I'm a little bit envious of the San Antonio area. The people down there are very aware. They're on what's called the Edwards Aquifer.
Okay.
And you can talk to people on the street, and they know what the Edwards Aquifer is. And that wasn't an accident. That was because the people that are in charge of managing that realized that they had to have public buy-in. People had to understand why they were doing the things that they were doing to keep that water flowing through San Antonio. That's all water that comes from the Edward Aquifer. So when you go down to the Riverwalk, the fact that there's water in that river isn't an accident. It was done through a lot of hard work and a lot of money spent to make all that possible. And the people are willing to do that if they understand what's happening and where all that's going.
Maybe the soldiers in the Alamo knew that, and that's the real reason they're at the Alamo, not to protect that water line.
It's truly a fight over water.
Exactly. But yeah, definitely. So let me ask this. Speaking of Texas, do you guys get involved when it comes to the water rights with Texas and distributing it? And
Absolutely.
I mean, is this aquifer that one of those vessels that gets the water that whatever treaties we made with Texas back in the day we owe, meeting those obligations and all that?
Absolutely. Yeah. The state of New Mexico is obligated to deliver water to Texas on the Pecos River under what we refer to as the Pecos Compact.
Okay.
One of the little ticklish parts of that was when they sat down and come up with the terms of the deal, they referred to the flow of the river, and they picked a year that they thought was a good representative of what the average is.
Okay.
And so you'll see the term the 47 condition.
Okay.
And that was a little bit hard to live up to because, again, we don't have a normal system. We don't have an average. So it's really difficult.
When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's bad.
Exactly.
That's what we got.
So we got in a little trouble with Texas. Texas wasn't real happy with us because we weren't giving them the water they thought they needed. And so when one state gets angry at another state, they sue. And the Supreme Court is the one who hears that. And so they took us to the Supreme Court, and we had a big fight about it, and we lost. And so what the Supreme Court essentially told us was, here's the deal, New Mexico. You never, ever get to underdeliver to Texas again. We're going to let you pay a fine and clean the slate a little bit here, but you can't underdeliver again. If you do, a federal water master is going to come up the river and stop every drop of water going anywhere until Texas gets all of their water.
Gotcha. So feds are saying if you can't distribute it right, then we're going to come in and do it.
We're going to turn it off.
Yep. You're not going to like the way we do it.
And so New Mexico's back was against the wall, and we scrambled to come up with a system to be able to deliver to Texas. Now, I'm not getting the numbers exactly right, but essentially we owe Texas half of the water that comes in. I think it's actually 57%. But
wow. Did we lose a card game or something? How did that happen?
It's not a problem when we've got water, as long as we've had water for a while. And it's not a problem when we don't have any water, because half of nothing is zero. So where we stand to get in trouble is when we go to what you would call a normal year, coming out of a real dry spell. So most of our water is stored upstream from here at Fort Sumner and at Santa Rosa.
Okay.
So imagine those two reservoirs get filled up next week, and we haven't had any rain for a year. We're going to have to let that water go up there and hope that half of it gets to Texas. And that's probably not going to happen, because you've got all of that bank storage. You have to resaturate the river.
Sure.
So that's where we stand. You know, we have the potential to get in trouble. The good thing that come out of that Supreme Court case was we're able to accrue a credit.
Okay.
And so New Mexico has done a really good job of building a credit with the state of Texas. So we have over 100,000 acre-foot credit with them.
So if it truly gets a little bone dry for us, we've got some insurance there.
Yeah, so when we get that, our reservoirs are 3/4 of the way full, and we've got to give Texas half of their water, we can release half of that water, knowing that that half isn't going to get to Texas, and use up some of that credit.
Gotcha.
And in the scramble to meet that demand, we put in what's called the augmentation well field. There's wells in Lake Arthur and at Seven Rivers south of Artesia, right there at Brantley, and we're able to pump groundwater into the river. We call it augmenting the flow of the river, so we can put some water in the river for deliveries to Texas. And Carlsbad is also a beneficiary of that. The Carlsbad Irrigation District, when there's not enough water in the reservoirs, we're able to turn on those pumps and provide a little water for them.
Gotcha.
So,
just
very expensive.
Just gee whiz curious. I mean, is there any foreseeable future where this agreement gets reassessed and looked at? Based on what we can actually provide and things? I mean, or is Texas's needs basically they need every percentage of that water? Because I'm just curious, is there ever going to be a change in that balance, in your opinion, where maybe we don't have to give them as much, or they look at the ratios there and adjust a little bit?
It's theoretically possible.
Yeah.
New Mexico could go back to the Supreme Court and say, we want you to look at that again.
Yeah.
And I think I said 57%, and I think it's 47% is what
Either way, that's still about half.
About half.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because we have gotten ourselves where we have that substantial credit now. And so when we get in trouble or on those years where we have a little bit of a wet spell that follows a dry spell. And so it's not like, well, every year it's dry, we're looking at under-delivering. When it's dry, we give them half of what we can give them.
Gotcha.
And it's not that big of a deal. And so with the credit we've been able to accrue, and the state of New Mexico spent about $100 million to get us to this point. So it didn't just happen overnight, and it certainly wasn't cheap. But with the combination of fallowing land, land was fallowed within the PVACD and within the Carlsbad Irrigation District. Carlsbad uses just almost exclusively surface water, river water, whereas up here we use mostly groundwater.
Okay.
But nonetheless, we were able to make those sacrifices. The land that was purchased in the Carlsbad Irrigation District, when we don't have a credit, that water is delivered to Texas. So instead of putting it on a farm, it goes to Texas to meet that demand towards Texas. But then when we build up a big enough credit, well, then Carlsbad Irrigation District is able to use that water locally. So
gotcha.
We're in pretty good shape with Texas. We still got to figure out what we do with Carlsbad when we don't have enough water to go around.
Gotcha.
And that's a persistent problem, and it's something we're sure working on.
Gotcha. So in a nutshell, this is why you hear the old saying, whiskey's for drinking and water's for fighting.
Absolutely.
Because of all of what's going on here.
There's plenty of whiskey. There's not near enough water.
Yeah, exactly here. But one thing we did, much like in the COVID world, everybody's looking for employment and looking for top quality folks to be a part. And the Pecos Valley Artesian Conservancy District is right now. You guys are looking for some experts in the field to be a part of the team and to help maintain and regulate these water issues we've been talking about for the last 20 minutes.
Absolutely. We're looking for what we call a field technician. That's kind of a catch-all term.
Okay.
This will be one of the field staff. Spend a lot of time in the field working on meters. As I said, it's our job. We own the meters, and it's our job to maintain them. It's our goal to visit every single meter in the valley every year. We pull it out of line. We look everything over. We replace anything that's worn on it so that we get an accurate read on the water that's used. Sure. That's what this person will be doing, and then they'll be working on our drilling rig while we're plugging abandoned wells. And
Very good.
That leads me to my primary, secondary, I should say, point here is that this is an opportunity for the public to help us. If you come across a well on your property,
please report it to us.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Most of the time, we will plug that well at no cost to the landowner. There's just rare exceptions to that where we wouldn't. Landowners are obligated by state law to plug any well that they don't have in service, that's not being used.
But if you have to plug it with some unique method that costs like crazy amount of money, then maybe they're going to have to get involved.
Well, there's some possibilities with contamination and things like that where it would be beyond the scope of what we're comfortable doing.
They're going to get some of their people in.
Right, and most areas of the state, if there's a well, and every now and then you hear about it on the news where little Johnny fell down a well, and that's a real threat, especially on these old irrigation wells. They're 16 inches in diameter or larger on some of them.
Sure.
There's certainly the ability for something to fall down there.
Kids are curious, absolutely.
Yeah. And so that's one of the reasons we want to plug that. That's one of the reasons you're required by law. It's expensive, and we pay for that, so it's not an expense to the landowner.
Yeah. Or even we hear kids earlier, but some of it's shifting to drug addicts looking for metals and stuff, so they're crawling into places that they shouldn't be, and they're going, oh, there's a hole, maybe there's some metal down there, and we just had someone stuck in a well. It was a month or so ago, looking for metals and stuff.
Right,
so
right.
Yeah, it happens.
Right, and then from our perspective, we don't want any contaminations to be able to get down the well. So if it's a shallow well, what we call a domestic well, like you would have on your house there, if that's a well that's not being used anymore, there's still an opportunity for somebody to throw something down there. Rodents could get down there during flood events there. Things can wash down there that we don't want in our drinking water. So we want to seal that off. And then if it's an artesian well, like I said, we want to seal off that communication.
Keep that
so
pressure
it's not
and
losing
everything.
that pressure. Absolutely.
Interesting. Is your website probably the best place to steer people for information about the jobs, about getting a hold of you, about if reporting wells, things like that? That's probably the quick or the easiest way to get to you guys.
Sure. There's three ways you can get a hold of us.
Okay.
Our web address is pvacd.com.
Yeah.
It's not complicated. If you can just remember the alphabet that goes in the front there.
Yeah. And PV, Pecos Valley, that's, you got about a 50% chance of getting half the things around here with that there. Yeah, exactly. So.
And then if you want to come by our office is at 2303 East 2nd Street.
Yeah.
So we're easy to find there. And then, or you can give us a call. Our phone number is 622-7000. So people can give us a call. But if you go to the website, all the other information is there, and we can.
Yeah, when you're on the east side of 2nd, getting Cowboy Cafe and all that, doing all your thing, swing on over and say hi at the office.
Absolutely.
And like you said, if you are interested in becoming, working for the Pecos Valley Artesian Conservancy District, it's a great opportunity. Come in, apply, get your applications. You can fill through the website, everything there, and come in person and visit and see, hey, maybe this is your next career opportunity. So now, is this are you guys like part of a government agency? So you guys are government employees and everything. So with that comes the benefits, you get with the government, So if you're looking for a career with, the benefits, the retirement plan, the whole nine that you get with county, city, state, that's one thing that's one thing the government can always do. Like, they can't always compete with the oil field guys when it comes to the numbers and making money. But when it comes to the stability and the raising a family, all the things you look for, your retirement plans, your 401ks and stuff. They do a pretty good job of taking care of you on that side of things. So if you have, of course, Aaron, you can fill them in on all that stuff. But if you're looking for a career that is the type to raise a family on, this is what we're talking about here.
Absolutely.
This is stuff because, well, I mean, obviously you're looking for skilled people that are experts in this industry. It's not. This isn't going to be one of those folks that rolls off the street and says, "Hey, I think I do this water thing. I got it." You know what I mean?
Right. And if we got a minute, I'll brag on the district a little bit. We are what's considered a political subdivision of the state.
Okay.
And so we're funded through an ad valorem tax. If you live within the valley here, chances are you pay our wages.
Okay.
And so we all serve at the pleasure of a 5-member board of directors, elected board of directors. And it's an excellent place to work. The board understands what we're doing. They're really eager to make sure that we have the tools that we need to be able to do our job effectively. Sure. They push us to do better. I don't think there's anyone over there at the district who doesn't recognize what a unique place it is to work.
Yeah.
Because you have that support. Our board understands us and wants us to do well and gives us the tools to do well.
Yeah.
And in that vein, we've been planning it for almost 10 years now, and we finally broke ground. We're building a new facility over there, a new shop, a new office space. We've been in that one there since the 60s. So it's
not due for a new place.
We've got our utility out of it, I think. We're not going to
They still got Kennedy picture on the wall. They haven't taken that off. I'm just kidding.
Nixon, actually.
That's pretty good.
But no, it's a great place to work. They take care of us. And like you said, it's a good opportunity for somebody that's looking for a career and not just a job.
Absolutely, here too, and like you said, and here's the cool part: you get to it's every day's new because you could be at one end of the county or the Pecos Valley, and then next day you're off at a different part on a different piece of property doing the same thing.
Absolutely, the district runs from about 20 miles north of Roswell all the way down to Brantley. They're at Seven Rivers, just north of Carlsbad.
All right.
And so right down the bottom of the valley, about 20 miles wide.
Up and down 285,
right?
You got it all down there.
Absolutely. And so, like you said, every day there's something new. We're addressing different problems in different areas all the time. When we're doing plugging operations, it's hard work, but it's also kind of fun because it's no matter how good you think you're getting at it, you always encounter something that you can't have anticipated.
Sure.
We end up with collapsed wells and wells that have collapsed with pumps in them. And so we have to deal with all of that, and we have shifting conditions below ground there. So you just absolutely anything you can imagine could go wrong often does.
Absolutely.
And so it's something that keeps us on our toes, and we've got an excellent crew over there. Our driller is phenomenal and really has a good understanding of what we can expect when we set up on a well to drill. And so it's like you said, it's something new and exciting every day. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, one thing I know, when you try to predict Mother Nature or try to circumnavigate Mother Nature, you're going to lose every time.
Absolutely.
You're going to lose every time.
All we can do is add to the knowledge that we have, and knowing that we're never fully going to understand it. I've offended more than one hydrologist when I tell them we get about 10 feet or more below ground. Nobody really knows what's going on down there.
Sure.
We're just all guessing, and that's what we have to do. We have to take the knowledge that we have and try and extrapolate and imagine what could be going on down there. And, so, yeah, it's certainly interesting.
I would imagine, too, in the future as science and everything changes and equipment changes, that'll give you better pictures of that kind of stuff. I don't know if they've got some kind of weird sonar type things where you can kind of read the stuff before you start drilling and stuff. And I'm sure there's some of that technology in existence, but I'm sure it'll get a whole lot better as time goes on here and accurate and things like that. But till then, it's kind of like, well, we got to dig to find out what's down there, so we're going to see. So,
right. Well, we use a lot of well information. When a well is drilled, the driller keeps a log of what he encounters.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been a lot of wells drilled here. And one of the things, a credit to the district, is the district has spent a lot of money with hydrologists to try and better understand what we have here. So we've invested in that knowledge base to try and understand better how the aquifer functions and what the formation looks like. And like you say, we're just working with little pieces of data trying to build a bigger picture of what things look like.
Sure.
And we learn something new pretty regular. And as you said, as technology evolves, a lot of that changes and helps us be better informed.
And it's not true they don't give you those set of the water sticks in each truck, right?
We don't do any witching for water. So no, that's someone else's job.
Gotcha. I was just making sure. I didn't make sure those weren't standard operating on the truck.
No, that's not standard equipment.
Yeah, very good. Well, again, if anybody has any questions, want more information, wants to apply, and wants to learn more about career opportunities with the PVACD, please check out the website, www.pvacd.com. You also have a Facebook page, too, if they want to connect there and reach out. Or come by the office. It's on East 2nd, 2303 East 2nd. Come on by. Is it like 8 to 5 Monday through Friday hours?
We start work at 7:30 in the morning. We're there till 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay. And there's always someone at the office?
Yep.
So I imagine, like you said, you guys are out in the field or out in a hole somewhere in the middle of the desert. So, very good. Is there anything we missed we wanted to get out there?
Oh, we could literally talk about this all day. It's something that I've become very passionate about.
Yeah.
I see how water issues are evolving, and that's, again, a credit to my board is trying to keep me informed with what's going on elsewhere.
Sure.
I also sit on the Interstate Stream Commission for the state of New Mexico. And so I see the problems that other parts of the world are facing, and it just gives me a much deeper appreciation for the decisions that have been made here in the past to get us to where we're at now. And so there's a little bit of pressure to not fumble the ball because they've got us this far, absolutely. So we have to keep building on those successes, and if we can keep doing what we're doing, we're way ahead of the curve. When you look to the Colorado River, for example, they've got some real issues that they're going to have to figure out over there. And
we had some smart leaders back in the 30s that kind of said, maybe we should nip this in the bud now. And now here we sit in 2022 in pretty good shape. And like you said, my job just to make sure the next guy has the same condition I got when I handed to him.
Absolutely.
Basically. Yeah, absolutely. So again, thank you for the time here. And if nothing else, too, remind us, even us folks that aren't going to be the experts digging wells and things, just because we're in a lucky situation, we still need to be good stewards with the water we have. So just because we're not dealing with the issues they are up north on some of this stuff doesn't mean we should be stupid with the way we handle our water. Please treat it like the precious commodity it is. Don't water unnecessarily. Don't be that person that's got the pond of water going down the street that's not actually watering things.
That street won't grow no matter how much water you put on it.
Things like that. If you are going to be watering your lawn, pick those morning times or evening times, the times where you're not going to get most of it evaporating, where you get a larger percentage of it actually getting into the soil there and doing those kind of things. Be good stewards.
Absolutely.
We all do our part that way. It makes his job and make sure our kids have water for the years to come.
Absolutely.
Very good.
Well said.
Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. We'll see you here hopefully next time. We'd love to get you in maybe from time to time. And
I would love to.
I would love to hear fun stories like, we were out at a well and we found critter X, or we found whatever. I love those kind of stories.
We have plenty of what you discovered when you pulled the meter, because some of the discharges are into a water reservoir. So sometimes creatures crawl up there to seek refuge, and unfortunately, some of them don't make it out, and we're left to deal with that.
The leavings?
Yes, and then our fishing stories, we pull a lot of material out of the well, and so parts of pumps and casing and things like that. It's
nothing ever valuable, is it?
No, we've yet to find
gold watches or nothing.
No, we've yet to find a Rolex down there, but. That interests me just because I'm perpetually amazed that we're able to recover some of that stuff and not hang up our tools and some of the things you worry about when you set up.
I've been looking for that. There it is.
Right.
Wonder where that went. Good as new.
But we'd love to come back and talk to you as things move forward and we start becoming a little more active in the community with some of the things we're in the process of working with the city of Roswell on their water conservation plan, and part of that is going to be raising public awareness about the water.
Yeah.
And so we'd love to keep you all posted on how things are progressing.
Yeah. To quote the 80s, was it "Don't know what you got till it's gone," right?
Absolutely.
That's kind of that's just reminding folks of that.
Benjamin Franklin said, "We don't know the worth of water until the well is dry."
Absolutely.
So we don't want to get to that point.
Yeah, it's just like the city's water department. You don't care about them until your toilet don't flush.
Exactly.
And you care a lot about it all of a sudden. So, well, thank you. Do appreciate it. And we'll see you next time, okay?
We'll see you then.
All right. It is 7:56. Let's go ahead and take a quick break before we get you into Town Hall News. Don't go away.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. California wants electric vehicle sales to triple. With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. California wants electric vehicle sales.
Have they found you yet? They're always looking. They work 24 hours a day. They're underground operators, so you probably won't see them coming. They invade 5 million American homes every year. They're looking for yours right now. Termites. They cause more damage than tornadoes, fires, and earthquakes combined. They eat unprotected homes from the inside out, every minute of every day. And most homeowners' insurance doesn't cover termite damage. Don't wait until termites find you. Get protected now with the Centercon Termite Colony Elimination System with always active technology. The system provides continuous daily protection against termites, killing termites today and protecting your home in the future. Termites are always looking. That's why the Centercon system is always active.
Call Bob Reed Pest Control today for all of Southeast New Mexico. 575-623-5344.
To plant or not to plant? That is the question. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Our tomato plants and pepper plants are ready to go. If you plant them now, you might have homegrown tomatoes and peppers before anyone else. Or a frost might kill them. As Clint Eastwood would say, do you feel lucky? You'll either be the smartest gardener in the county or you'll get to replant them all over again. I say go for it. You'll get more practice and we'll get more business. This is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company, and I apologize to William Shakespeare.
The Valley Cafe is now open Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Located inside the 180 Youth Building across from Church on the Move on Brasher in Roswell. Enjoy soups, salads, sandwiches, burgers, and more. Try one of their signature creations like the Sweet and Spicy Burger with honey jalapeno bacon barbecue sauce, the chicken cordon bleu soup, Chef Anthony Noble's fried avocados, and the Smotherman Burger with creamy green chili sauce. Or swing by for coffee or breakfast burritos on your way to work. The all-new Valley Cafe, open Monday through Friday, 7 to 3. Stop in for breakfast, lunch, or even a snack after school. Don't feel like leaving home? Order takeout from DoorDash. Roswell Skin Center, a brand new state-of-the-art facility located in the 400 Penn Plaza building here in Roswell, is now accepting new patients. Dr. Brandon Cometti and his team offer a full range of skin care services, including general dermatology, surgical and cosmetic procedures, including cutting-edge laser rejuvenation, Botox, filler, laser hair removal, chemical peels, and other non-invasive options to improve skin health and turn back the hands of time. Call and schedule your appointment at Roswell Skin Center today. 208-2509. That's 208-2509.
Bill Cunningham is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Well, this could really shake things up at Twitter if it pans out. Elon Musk making a $43 billion cash offer to buy the 91% of the social media company he doesn't already own. Musk tells Twitter's board he's the one to unlock Twitter's extraordinary potential. The Tesla chief has been an outspoken critic of Twitter, accusing it of stifling free speech. The flagship of Russia's Black Sea Fleet has been disabled by what the Russians say was an onboard fire that caused ammo to explode. That's something the Ukrainians are cheering.
The Russian Defense Ministry says the crew had been taken off the ship and that the cause of the fire was under investigation.
but Ukrainian officials say the ship was hit with 2 missiles. The Moskva gained notoriety in the early days of Vladimir Putin's invasion when its sailors demanded the surrender of Ukrainian border troops defending the strategic Snake Island. Their refusal, deployed along with some colourful language, came to symbolize Ukrainian defiance.
The BBC's Jenny Hill in Moscow. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has sent 2 busloads of illegal immigrants to Washington, D.C. They arrived yesterday. Meanwhile, back in Texas, Abbott says extra inspections at a Laredo bridge will come to an end after a deal was worked out with the neighboring Mexican state.
Since Nuevo Leon has increased its security on its side of the border, the Texas Department of Public Safety can return to its previous practice of random searches of vehicles crossing the bridge from Nuevo Leon.
The governor's remarks aired by KSAT. The New York subway shooting suspect, Frank James, to be arraigned today in Brooklyn federal court. Watching Wall Street, stocks are mixed. Right now, the Dow is up 158 points, while the NASDAQ trading 89 points lower. And the S&P is down 9 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
I'm about to compare a pepper shaker to a cash-out refinance. Hang with me. You know when you're at a restaurant and they ask, would you like some fresh ground pepper? And then they crank that giant tube, but almost nothing comes out? For me, only a certain amount of time is socially acceptable to wait. I know that getting that pepper out might make my life better, but it just seems too impossible. And that's what we hear people say about the cash-out refinance. People realize that the value of their home has gone up like hot pepper the last few years, leaving all this extra money sitting inside their home. But is it too hard to get out? It's Ryan from United Faith Mortgage. If you're interested in cashing out the extra pepper in your home, we're good at doing all the work while you just sit back and relax. And often, your mortgage payment and years in the loan will stay the same. If you'd like to hear about your options,
we are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
Officials at Europe's central bank have inflation on their minds.
The increase in consumer prices hit a record last month in the 19 countries that use the euro currency, and markets are wondering when the bank will join the U.S. Federal Reserve and others in raising rates. But it's not so simple in Europe. High inflation is largely imported through higher oil prices, which doesn't generally respond to central bank moves.
That's correspondent Jeremy House. 4 people arrested in Germany and weapons have been seized in an investigation of suspected anti-government extremists who allegedly plan to cause a long nationwide blackout and kidnap high-profile figures. Prosecutors and police say raids were carried out at 20 properties across the country following an investigation that was launched in October. The suspects are members of a chat group called United Patriots. News and analysis at townhall.com. It's a sign of the times, this time in Nevada.
The Metro Las Vegas School District will provide electronic panic button devices to teachers as it moves to boost security in the wake of incidents that include a violent after-school attack that left a teacher injured and unconscious in her classroom. In addition to providing teachers with panic devices equipped with Bluetooth connectivity, the Clark County School District will ask police agencies to increase their presence at schools and upgrade security cameras. Rhonda Rockstra reporting.
Cleanup, the order of the day in parts of Mississippi and Kentucky hit by severe storms, including possible tornadoes last night. Number of people applying for unemployment benefits jumped 18,000 last week, hitting 185,000. It is a higher number than economists had been expecting, and it comes after jobless claims fell to a 54-year low in the previous week. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I slumber, I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. DJ, the demolition. What does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
Los Deuce.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell Talk FM. Happy Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still can't drive without being one to hack my voice.
Yeah.
So.
And that's, I mean, I think you're going to need like a good cleansing. Like you need like 10 minutes in just like a soundproof room to just Achim.
Maybe.
Just to get it all out.
I guess.
Just to go Oscar, full-blown Oscar from The Odd Couple. Or was it Felix? No, Felix was the normal one, right? Oscar was the one who... Achim!
Well, neither were normal.
Okay, well, Jack Lemmon. Which one was Jack Lemmon?
You're making me think.
See,
now.
I'm pretty sure he was Oscar. Anyways, the one who had the phlegm problem.
Okay.
Yeah. What was the sound he used to make? Fna.
I think it'd be I'm thinking the original Odd Couple, not the movie Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau version.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think it's Felix. Yeah.
Well, either way, that guy. You just need like a good throat cleansing session.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Ahem.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those.
Get it all out.
Never mind. I was gonna say something. I had a joke, but I was like, yeah, I'll save it for another time. That's not on the radio.
I'm rather disappointed with a purchase.
A purchase?
Buyer's remorse.
Okay.
Well, okay, so I like a good morning cup of coffee. It's one of my one of my passions about mornings.
As many people do.
Yeah, sure. I have a real problem with the fact that they sell coffee creamers in such gigantic bottles, to where I am now committed to a flavor because of who I am. I have to use it.
They don't make a smaller one?
Not that I saw in this flavor.
Oh, okay.
It was a particular. And it sounded great on the shelf. Blueberry cobbler.
In a coffee?
Yeah. Kind of sounds delightful.
All right.
You think, nice blueberry cobbler, a little scoop of ice cream. It just sounds nice. It's all right. Only problem is every single thing like around me smells and tastes like blueberries now.
Yeah, I don't know if it doesn't seem like a good pairing to me.
It's less of a good pairing than I was hoping for.
Yeah.
And so now I'm committed to a whole bottle of creamer that I don't like because I'm still going to use it because I'm not going to waste stuff that it's just not in.
You don't have a friend perhaps that's a blueberry aficionado that you say, here.
You want to have an empty bottle of creamer?
Have this bottle of creamer and give it a try.
Yeah, maybe. I might shop it around.
Yeah. It's like I've had my fill. It's not my thing. Maybe you would like it. I know you love blueberry.
Now you've probably experienced this with other things, but you're standing in the store, right? You're trying to make a selection amongst the different flavors, types, whatever.
Yeah.
And there's somebody behind you. Mm-hmm. And you know they need to get to that place that you're at.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Then the pressure's on.
Yeah.
And you're like, I gotta make a choice. And it was between, now this is going to be obscure. Do you know what a speculoos cookie is?
No.
Okay, are you familiar with cookie butter?
Cookie butter.
It was real big like 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
If you go down to like your spreadables, your Nutellas, peanut butters and whatnot, you can still find it to this day. It's cookie butter. It's ground up speculoos cookies. It's these kind of cookies they have in like British or whatever.
Okay.
But it's a spreadable mix of cookies. It's like peanut butter, but made with cookies.
Okay.
It's magic in a jar is what it is. I went through a phase of like 3 years where I was putting this stuff on everything.
Okay.
Steak. I mean, like baked potato. I'm kidding. But so the other selection was blueberry cobbler or speculoos cookie. I'm like,
okay.
I really like cookie butter, but I'm like, I
now you wish you went cookie butter.
I really wish I would have gone cookie butter. Ooh.
Speaking of blueberry,
that's an investment now. I have to go back and.
Well, speaking of blueberry, I saw an interesting blueberry fairing online.
Okay.
I have not seen it in person yet. Kit Kat had a blueberry.
Really?
I feel like I'm missing something, like blueberry cupcake.
Blueberries and cream?
Yeah, blueberry something.
Okay.
Kit Kat.
Well, I'm intrigued about it. I like blueberry
I just saw it
flavored
online,
things.
like on Facebook. I do too. I'm a blueberry guy.
What got me was blueberry. Like I never knew I was so into blueberry pie.
Oh, I love blueberry pie.
I know. I didn't think I was that as into it as I was.
I would. If I'm going to say what's your favorite pie, I'm going to say blueberry.
See, and I wouldn't have said that. I would have gone. I would have gone cherry.
Now, my grandmother is the reason I'm a blueberry fan. My father's mother, my grandmother.
I guess they just weren't as prevalent where I grew up.
Well, she grew up.
Blueberry muffin Kit Kats.
There you go, muffin.
That actually sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, they have a couple of them. They have strawberries and dark chocolate, and what's the other duos? Mocha and chocolate.
I've seen the mocha.
Chocolate.
Well, mocha's coffee.
Mocha's coffee, I know. Yeah. Huh. Okay. So where would I find these?
I've never seen them in person. I've just seen them online. But anyway, no, my grandmother, who lived in upstate New York, had a blueberry bush in her backyard.
Nice.
And so we'd always pick blueberry. And we always had Sunday morning at breakfast, had blueberry muffins, a lot of blueberry. So I had a lot of blueberry things, and so I liked blueberry.
I guess they weren't very prevalent where I grew up. Like Oklahoma, I had a lot of mulberry stuff.
Yeah.
Like we had a ton of mulberries. We had actually a huge mulberry tree in our backyard.
Yeah.
That's where you separate the men from the boys. You find out who's allergic to what.
Yeah. But, that was, I remember her fighting with the birds and netting that thing and doing all kind of stuff to protect the blueberry.
Mm-hmm.
I wondered that blueberry bush, like that, my grandparents have long passed, but I'm sure that house is still there, that neighborhood. It was kind of I'm curious. If I ever go back to Shenango Bridge, New York, and go visit that
It's going to be like that tree. It's going to be like that tree at
Tatum there?
Yeah, Tatum.
And see if that blueberry bush is still there.
It's like just massive now.
Yeah.
And it speaks.
It's old. It's got a big blue beard.
That's right. It helps guide wayward children.
It tells me stories. Yeah. Could be. I don't know. But I'm a blueberry guy. I'll take blueberry all day. Okay. I don't think that's for me.
And I never, well, it's your phone. I never specifically like went to blueberry as like a flavor, but I've leaned more into it as an adult. It's a much milder berry. I think it's not as like wild. It's not like your cherries. There's not a lot of zing to it.
Yeah. It can have a little. It does need sugar.
Yeah.
In your pies and things, but I dig it. As far as fruit berries go, blueberry my favorite probably is my
blueberry's
one
up there, but I'm just I love me a good cherry.
I do too. I like cherry too, but pie wise, I'm one seed's blueberry. It's something about it's the perfect amount of sweet, tart, and tasty that I like.
Doesn't work in coffee form, just in case you're curious.
Well, it doesn't sound right. Like blueberry doesn't feel like a pairing that should go with things that you roast.
Well, and true. I shouldn't make that big of a deal out of it. It's fine.
Yeah.
It tastes fine. It's distractingly blueberry-y.
I think a blueberry is a fine flavor, but it's not a flavor you pair with things you roast.
I'm tired of like chocolate flavored things in coffee.
Yeah.
It gets old, after a while.
Or vanilla.
Well, like I was looking, they have an M&M's flavored creamer.
Okay.
That's just chocolate.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because the candy coating doesn't taste like anything.
No.
It's just chocolate flavored creamer.
That's a crunch more than a taste.
Right.
Yeah.
You're slapping a name on it and putting out chocolate creamer.
Why don't you just put M&M's in your coffee?
Yeah, it's not the same.
It melts in your coffee, not in your hand.
It does melt in your coffee. But then you got a bunch of those little shell casings floating around. You got casings, but
tastes like M&M's now.
No, I mean shotgun shell casings.
Oh.
It was a weird morning.
You make coffee different.
I do make coffee different than most people. Yeah. Little slice of butter.
Yes.
Some birdshot.
Right.
It's nice.
Throws in asparagus. It's very weird.
Well, it's the asparagus is the stir.
It's the stir, the swizzle in your coffee. Right. Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We'll get you up to date with the weather here in just a few. Then we're going to have Mayor Tim Jennings join us here in just a few minutes. Tonight is city council meeting, so we'll preview city council with the mayor. And, of course, he's a new mayor, so we'll chit-chat, see how he's getting settled in and all that good stuff here this morning, too. Later on, we'll get you up to date with the news of the local variety, along with the town hall Wall Street business update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. Before we do any of that stuff, let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
Weather is brought to you by Bob Reed Pest Control, pest management for all of southeast New Mexico. Bob Reed Pest Control, no job is too large or too small. Call today from anywhere in southeast New Mexico, 575-623-5344.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty mild today. Afternoon highs in the upper 70s to low 80s, and we should get plenty of sunshine with low pressure headed out of our area, so not too windy. We'll be in the low 40s and clear for the overnight hours, and then the wind picks up a little bit on Friday, mainly in the afternoon. Gusts up to 30 miles an hour, sunshine, and a lot warmer with upper 80s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, did I refresh? No. Why am I so bad? I should have done better. Actually, I was doing something else. I think we lost our weather page. Let me try again. I'm trying to log into my weather page and refresh, and it's not giving it to me. All right. I got to go other methods to get the weather because it's not refreshing here. Let's see. Let me go to my phone. I apologize. I got to go dig up since the National Weather Service doesn't want to come up on the thing here. All right, according to my phone weather here, currently 46 degrees here in Roswell. Let's see, humidity is it says feels like 46. I'm trying to look for the humidity on my app here. I don't see it. But there we go. Winds currently out of the northwest at 8 miles per hour. Humidity is at 7%, and real feels like 41 right now. So that's what they're calling for today. They're saying expect highs right around 80. Going to be a little breezy this afternoon. We do have a red flag warning in effect here for today. So that's what we're looking at for weather for today. It is 18 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's go ahead and take a 3-minute commercial break, and then we'll preview tonight's city council meeting with Mayor Tim Jennings on the other side. Don't go away.
Roll in and win during the Moneyopoly sales event at Roswell Nissan for 6 big days. Now through the 16th, get game-changing savings on a great selection of vehicles, like a 2017 Chevy Malibu for just $279 a month, a 2018 Escape for only $249 a month, or a 2015 Rogue for just $149 a month. Play the Plinko Cash Grab for your shot at cold hard cash and register to win a brand new swimming pool. Plus, bring your mailer in for a chance to win $50 grand. Moneyopoly on now at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd.
Roswell Skin Center, a brand new state-of-the-art facility located in the 400 Penn Plaza building here in Roswell, is now accepting new patients. Dr. Brandon Cometti and his team offer a full range of skin care services, including general dermatology, surgical and cosmetic procedures, including cutting-edge laser rejuvenation, Botox, filler, laser hair removal, chemical peels, and other non-invasive options to improve skin health and turn back the hands of time. Call and schedule your appointment at Roswell Skin Center today, 208-2509. That's 208-2509.
I have a snake for your drain. You might want to step back.
Oh no, baby.
All AC units moke a little. Is normal.
Oh no, baby.
Haha, now your sprinkler system's strong like bull.
Come on now. Don't let any fool work on your plumbing and air conditioning. Fergalicious. From clogged drains to sprinkler systems, Fergie's Plumbing and Heating is on the job. And who are you going to call for air filters and spring servicing on your AC unit? Fergalicious. Call Fergie's today, 622-2660. Nothing but love. Fergalicious.
Roswell Medical Clinic is pleased to welcome Tanya Montoya as the newest member of the family. Tanya's expertise includes functional medicine, wellness, and women's health. Tanya seeks to truly partner with her patients to provide cutting-edge ideas to not only treat chronic diseases, but reverse them. Roswell Medical Clinic is committed to listening and helping each patient become the best version of themselves. Call Roswell Medical Clinic at 575-623-3311 or stop by 111 West Hobb Street. Roswell Medical Clinic, providers that listen.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. The education assistance I received made it possible for me to be the first person in my family to go to school and graduate debt-free. That education helped get me to the first day at my dream job, a job that I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job, plus the other benefits possible from the Army National Guard, helped me become a first-time homeowner. Also, part of my role as a National Guard soldier means I know that I can be one of the first to respond and help my community if disaster ever strikes. I'm extremely proud that I get to serve my community, and that first step I took by joining the Army National Guard has made all the difference in my life. Talk to your local recruiter or visit NationalGuard.com to find out what firsts are available to you in the Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Did you know you share your birthday with at least 9 million other people in the world? Your birthday isn't feeling so special now, is it? Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 8 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning, Mayor for the City of Roswell. Well, newly elected mayor for the City of Roswell, Tim Jennings, with us this morning. Morning, sir. How you doing today?
Good morning, Mike. Doing great.
Well, first and foremost, congratulations. I guess, is it still congratulations or is it condolences on winning?
No, it's fine. We have a job to do, and we'll get her done.
Good deal. So, obviously, tonight will be your first city council meeting as mayor here. Just, real quick, if you had a chance to, I know, formally and things about getting together and all that, but have you had a chance to sit down and talk with some city council and kind of, I guess you've been around a while, so you probably know a lot of people, but just kind of getting that working relationship established.
Yeah, it's been fun. I know all of them, and it's each counselor has his own different personality, and each one's a little different, have their different areas of expertise, and it's been fun. It's been fun getting to meet them, and I think we're going to have a real good group that can look together and move Roswell forward. One of our big things what we're going to want to try to do is work on jobs.
Gotcha.
And then we have to work on our community involvement. There's a great deal of concern about where our city has gone with charging fees for parks and charging fees for the adult center and everything else. And basically we drove the adult center from a very active place, drove it into the dirt, and now we're going to try to get it going back as soon as we can.
Good deal. Have they started coming at you with ideas and things to do all that, or is that kind of what the departments are working on now? Or
yeah, it's hopefully they're working on it, but I think that's the wishes of the council.
Gotcha.
We can find out tonight for sure. We'll start finding out more and more about it as the committees go. But there's a great deal of concern about the loss of the adult center and parks and museums and all museums, parks, all those are things that give your community character and show some diversity that you have for activities.
Sure.
But they're also the things that attract people to your community.
They're a tool that our businesses and other partners need to attract quality people to their industries and things.
That's right. And when you look in the state of New Mexico, when you look at museums, almost every museum in the state of New Mexico was built with oil and gas money or severance tax money, which 90% of comes from oil and gas. And when you look at that and you turn all the state museums and stuff, but when you turn to our museums in Roswell, they were all built with local funds or local individuals have built them. And it creates quite a bit of disparity. And yet I would probably tell you, I think that the UFO Museum probably has more visitors per day than any museum in the state. And it's phenomenal what they have. And they're people from all around the world. And so to the extent we can do things to expand on getting the people who go to the UFO Museum or the Roswell Museum to visit other museums.
Sure.
Those are things that we could do. The $10 a person is pretty expensive. If you go in there with your family, all of a sudden you're going, $40 or $50.
Yeah, if you got 4 or 5 of you, you're dropping half $100.
Yeah. 5 or 6, you're probably not going to go, just because it's real money. And
yeah, unless you got enough seniors or veterans in there to get the discounts to balance it out a little bit, yeah. But you're right, yeah, that can be pretty pricey on some of that. So
and it's seniors and veterans, those are all important, but it's just as important to have teachers that can bring a class of students there.
Absolutely.
And for museums and things. And when I was growing up, when we'd go to the park, we'd play with you'd play basketball out on at Cahoon Park or somewhere. You'd play with a whole different class of people. You had people from all economic levels that you'd end up playing basketball with or whatever, and or baseball, whatever. And when you did that, you met people that got to be friends from all classes.
Sure.
And that's a better way to have your friends and people. And
it broke down barriers a lot easier.
A lot of barriers that happens. So if you restrict people from going, then that's going to create more problems.
Gotcha.
So,
well, excuse me, got a little tickle there. Let's preview tonight's meeting as far as the agenda for this first one. Is there a lot of because this is the first meeting with the new sitting council and mayor, is there a lot of housekeeping stuff at the beginning for this one? Or
No, well, there's some new things where you're coming and looking about who the new leadership team is going to be, and we're going to have to look at that and figure out exactly who all we're going to have and where the leadership team comes from. And it's not going to shouldn't be too busy of a council meeting.
Okay. Is tonight when will they elect a new pro tem and all that kind of thing? Or
we'll have a leadership meeting for that, and the pro tem gets a little bit more money, but we've done our.
Well, I know there's been years where someone wants it, and then there's been years where everyone's like, not it.
Yeah.
So, but that. Well, and really, that's so. There's gonna be a lot of that tonight here. But looking at the agenda, is there some items that we definitely want to put on the public's radar and say these are some of the things that we want to make sure we get taken care of tonight?
Well, we have some just housekeeping stuff, some stuff going together relating to the traffic code. We're going to have to change some traffic code, and we're going to have to look at borrowing some money for I think they call it a screw press for out at the wastewater treatment plant.
Okay.
And some of that's on ways to get water clean and keep it all together. We're going to have some of the equipment we bought, it cost more than we thought it was going to, so they have to do that.
Okay.
And then there's an ordinance. We have one where Admiral Beverage is proposing they're looking for some tax advantages for the construction of their new building.
Okay.
And that one's a little different because I've never had one come after the building's almost completed. So I've never had one like that. So that's going to be it certainly puts a different flavor on something. And usually all those kind of tax situations come beforehand.
Gotcha. And there's usually like a set procedure, and it works pretty
creating a lot of jobs and things like that with
sure.
it. And I'm not sure that this meets all those criteria.
And that's why they'll sit and discuss that tonight and say, hey, is this something we want to do? And as a council, they'll decide whether it's the way to go or not. So.
And the city's going to have. It's a huge facility, and that's something that we're going to have to look at to address because it's going to be out there on Brasher. It's out on Brasher Road between Main and Southeast Main, and the Brasher Road's going to have to be upgraded as well when you start putting that heavy of traffic on there.
Sure, you're going to start seeing a lot more 18-wheelers and stuff rolling through there.
So,
and if I remember right, does FedEx, is that same stretch where FedEx got
is
there?
On there. FedEx, you have FedEx Ground and FedEx, and there's a industrial supply place there, and then there's a trucking company down there on that road too, and a Frito-Lay.
The Frito-Lay, the new warehouse for that is there too. Yeah.
So that's
it's that road or that section of the road is already kind of by default turning into that anyway. So
so it is, but you're going to have to upgrade turning lanes. You're going to have to probably the width of the road now from Sunset to South Main. That's been pretty well done. And as I recall, we left they put a drain under that. Now, if that's, that's been a number of years ago, and whether or not that's still a viable drain where you could connect drainage in to get water across Main Street and over to headed down towards the river on the.
Because I'm trying to think, isn't that one of the areas that's kind of a low spot there that whenever we get like an inch of rain at a time, that place fills right up.
We get some. It drains better than Poe.
Gotcha.
Poe is the real bad spot, and the Flood Commission they've moved. The Flood Commission had worked with the city on getting some of the drainage out because it's basically a lot of that area is very flat, and they put a retention pond in the in cemetery land, which I don't know about how they got away with that, but they did, and so they put that there. But then once the water gets to those spots, there's no place to get it across Southeast Main or US 285.
Okay.
And that's going to have to be worked. In fact, even on Brasher Road, the culverts on Brasher go uphill, and water doesn't generally go uphill unless you got a really expensive plumber.
Yeah. That's even where you're working that new math they talk about. I don't know.
But we need to find a way to fix that. Now, coming from my old hat or my other hat, the Flood Commission, we've done our part, and the city was supposed to get the water down across Main between the city and the State Highway Department. They get the water across South Main and get it into the retention pond that we have out on Atkinson.
Okay.
And that's where the water was supposed to go. Now, we have a problem getting there because nobody's gone across the highway. And if you get it across the highway, then you're into some county drainage and stuff that is going to have to be upgraded by the county.
Gotcha. So. Good deal. But so as far as the beverage thing, they'll work on that here. But regardless, there's going to have to be work on that road and like you said, more water drainage issues that they're going to have to renavigate or rework.
We're going to have to, and it's quite frankly, the road is, it's time for that road to be improved.
So I'm guessing too that at some point, some of that stuff you'll have to sit down with county on their side and work together on some of those issues because which is not uncommon.
Yeah, and that's we have a meeting Monday with the county, and it's good. I've always had a good working relationship with the county, but and that goes back to my days when I was a volunteer fire chief and ran one of their departments there. When Lewis Jones was a great guy, and he put all the city fire departments and the county fire departments, got us all working together, and we've kind of drifted away from that.
Gotcha.
But when we had that unfortunate accident with the firemen on 4th of July, all the surrounding volunteer fire departments came and manned the fire stations in Roswell so that those individuals could have turned could go to the services for the firemen. And so we've had a really good working relationship in the past, and it's kind of deteriorated, and we need to we'll get that
mend some fences
again.
And
we're gonna get that running again.
Good deal. Well, I imagine where some of that will be is when we talk airport and that kind of stuff. That's an area where there's been some contention with city county stuff, and so that's probably where the fences will be mended and things like that
might be my fault too, but
it's all right. I guess if you just take the blame for everything, and then
it's got to stop somewhere.
There you go. So, what else is on the agenda for tonight that we want to highlight for folks?
Oh, one of the big things is going to be that we have is whether I think there's a lot of questions to be asked as for Admiral Beverage Control on industrial revenue bonds is going to be a big one. And then probably the biggest thing is going to be the cannabis.
Gotcha.
Things. The cannabis rules, that's going to be one of the biggest
Is there a couple,
ordinances.
like we had Kevin Mavers on, the city development director, usually at the beginning of the month. We had him on not too long ago. And we were basically, what he said was that there was like two companies that are kind of in those final stages of getting their applications in, and I think they're at the points now where they go before city council and stuff. So is that some of the stuff you're going to be seeing tonight? Is some of these businesses that are applying for their licenses? Yeah, there's two. I guess there's however many companies are applying. I know. Yeah. When the state law, when they passed the state law, one of the things that the state laws allowed was the city to make some ordinances, but you can't restrict the sales. If the state law allows it and they're certified with the state law, you can't really. You can't trump the state law. Yeah, and there's 7 providers, and in the state law, if you dispensed medical marijuana, you could dispense recreational marijuana and or cannabis, and so that's what the state law says, and our ordinance has restricted them, which I don't believe we can do. We can't. Our ordinance cannot restrict what the state has authorized. Gotcha. It's a legal product, and it should be allowed. Now, it's probably cost us, probably a bunch of money already. It's probably cost us, in 2 weeks, it's probably cost us $500,000 of revenue to the city by not being in the sales when it started. I was talking to one of the cannabis people, and they said their sales in Ruidoso was half of their sales in Las Cruces. Oh, wow. And, and so that to me indicates that that's an awful lot of sales that probably went to Texas. Sure. And might have come here instead. And, sure. And so I think that, and whether you like it or not, I mean, the taxing authority is going to produce quite a bit of money to the city of Roswell, and I think that's, when the past administration cut out the adult center and all those places, that money went somewhere. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to have, when we start working on putting the adult center back and maybe the museums, and this will offset some of that cost with some of the it'll help money. It should help open it up. Okay. But it's going to be quite a bit of new money. Sure. Well, and we all know the city and these operations, the museum and the convention center, they're not built to make money. They're not. Yeah. That's not what they're here for. But at the same time, we'd like to, at least get them maybe paying for themselves, or you know what I'm saying, or it's not completely losing. So, and that's the big difference. Is these are government. Government's not here to be a business. The government's here to service people. So the mission statement's different. Now that being said, we don't want to, just all right, sure. This thing's costing us millions of dollars each year, and we're not, But and that's really the balance that you guys have as a city council, as a mayor, saying, well, okay, where at this point are we doing stuff that we need to do that benefits our community, but at the same time isn't that suck of finances? We're not. Clearly, the function of government is to provide resources and places to enhance your community, and you're definitely right. We're not in business to be in competition. With them, and so I think that's some things we have to look at. In the COVID times, we had a number of restaurants here, and it's been very hard on those restaurants and to make it. Sure. And yet when we come in and the Civic Center was priced out of reach for most people, and so what happened is we had
brought our own caterer in for
Sure.
the city, and then that didn't work too well. So then we brought our own chef, and now our chef is extremely competent. I mean, he's good.
Puts out good food.
But
yeah.
but the problem is that puts us in competition with the legitimate businesses that have been here
Sure.
for years trying to make it work. And
There's a lot of businesses for years have been using that as part of their money
it
to
was a
survive.
way to make it, and that would have helped them a lot during COVID had they had that. And so I think that's some things we're going to have to walk through and figure out through.
That stuff down the road here as time goes on. But definitely you're kind of looking and saying we definitely want to make sure that we increase and strengthen our city resources on amenities, I should say. Maybe that's the word, amenities for the community.
Well, it's the culture and the flavor of your community are done by the activities you can provide for people.
Sure.
And certainly the quilters, I think they've found a new home, which is good. But when you take those quilters away from being at the adult center, what they were used to, and then you move them somewhere else, then there's generally a decline in membership and stuff because you just change the activities and how people do it. And that always hurts because you don't always get all those people back.
Yeah.
But if we have people that go to the adult centers and just take the dancers, the ones that go and dance and exercise together, if they go in the morning and stuff, if people are home and they're staying home and don't get out and go somewhere, what are they going to do? Chances are they're probably not going to do too much if they're staying home, and they're going to get on Amazon and shop.
Sure.
Now, if they get out and go in the morning and go to exercise, they'll stop, and maybe they'll stop and buy a burrito or
have a cup of coffee or something.
Get something on the way home afterwards.
I got to pick up some groceries afterwards.
That's right.
Or I got to go.
They'll spend money.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the spending the money is where we get our money. So those kind of things are good. Is to get people up and moving around, and to increase, their health and just make our community a lot more vibrant.
Absolutely.
Keep going and moving on.
Well, and as we've said, and as when we have nice parks and we have nice amenities, guess what? The hospital's using that to recruit doctors to the hospitals. The teachers, the RSD's using that to recruit teachers into the classrooms. The Roswell Police Department, the Chaves County Sheriff's Department, they're using that to recruit deputies and peace officers to come be a part of their agency here, and firefighters. This is how we attract those people. High tech industries. We got great stuff going on at the college to lure some of those businesses out at the airport and things that require highly skilled people. They're looking at, what's there to do when I'm not at work? And that's the kind of stuff they're using. So these companies, these entities are using. Look, Roswell's look at the golf courses, look at the museums, look at the zoo. They got these amenities, and all those things are the carrots that they use to dangle to try to bring people to come spend time and call Southeast New Mexico, Roswell, their home. So.
That's right, and we've got speaking of golf courses very seldom make money.
Yeah,
and unless you're a place like the Masters or something,
right?
Where
you got to get an exclusive jacket to get in the room there. Yeah.
But we have to look at our golf course and see where it is. We've changed the whole management style there. We changed all the groundskeepers and everything else, and we have to make sure that our golf course, our city golf course, can handle it. I mean, we've made some very significant changes, and golf greens and stuff are very expensive.
Especially probably to run in a desert.
And if you kill one or you have to replant one, it's very expensive to build them, and so those are all things that we have to do. But the golf courses keep a lot of people active.
Absolutely.
And that's all a big benefit. Roswell's lucky to have 3 golf courses.
Yeah.
And so when you look at that, we've got to figure out how to put all this back together and make sure it all runs well.
And I think, and you would be a good barometer of this, because I mean, you've been here your whole life. The population of this community, in my opinion, I think has shifted a little bit. Where, 80s, 90s, this is very much a retirement community, but I'd say in the last 20 years, it's the community's gotten younger. You know what I mean? We've had a lot of more families, a lot more younger folks put roots down in here, and so almost the priorities of the city shift a little bit. Where, back in the 80s and 90s, there was a lot more senior driven because we had a larger percentage of the community of that. But now we're having to reinvest back into the schools, because now we have such an influx of younger families coming in. Am I spot on that based on what you think or what you're seeing?
After the close of the base, I mean, we actively recruited seniors to come here, and a lot of people from the Midwest, from the cold states, to come out here and enjoy our weather. That was very true, and in fact, the adult center used to be called the Margaret Ford Youth Center, and it's where I went when I was a child, and we had woodworking classes and all kinds of things that, plaster Paris. We did all kinds of children's activities there, and that with the closing of the base, they changed its focus. And so that's good. But we do have a lot younger community, and we don't have a lot of activities for them, and that's something that we from the 22 or whatever, 22 through 35, 37 group, we need to have more activities and see what we can do to have more activities for younger people, to attract younger people to come here.
Sure, which to me means things like the zoo, things like that. We need to, spend more. And you can see there's a lot been going on and doing things there. But because of like that youth shift, I think we need to invest in the bike trails, all the more outdoors, things that the younger folks want to go, and older folks too. I was going to say we like to do it, but you know what I mean? I think turning and which is what's kind of where we have doing. I think that's a good thing that we've been doing.
And we need to, wherever possible, we need to make them intergenerational. And I'm just saying, it's just like, you can have people who seniors in golf teach younger children how to play golf. You can have somebody who has talents in gardening, can teach younger children how to garden.
Yeah.
Those are kind of things that we need to sit down and figure out what we can do to where we create a community that is kind of tied together by their activities and the fun they can have.
Sure.
And we just had Arbor Day the other day, and when my brother was in, he started a tree farm, but then it all fell in the closet or somewhere. Somebody shut the door and nobody opened it up till the trees are too big to plant to transplant, and those are things we need to have back.
Sure.
We have enough trees downtown that are dying. It's very apparent, and we need to have a tree farm back and start raising trees to replace trees that in Roswell. Roswell was, years ago, it was known as a tree city because we had all kinds of trees.
If you look like the historic districts of town here, Alameda down over here, you can kind of tell those trees that are downtown there, those are big 100-year-old style trees. You know what I mean? Yep. Trees that remind me of back east, back when I grew up in Maryland, D.C. area. Those are the kind of trees you see back east. You don't always see out here like that. But when I remember the first time when I moved to Roswell here in like 2000, going through the historic district and seeing the big trees, and that was the first time I've ever come through and said, you know what, this reminds me East Coast, the green lawns and the trees, and you still see a hint of that in some of the historic district, but I guess a lot more Roswell looked like that back in the day.
Yeah, and yet if you ever see pictures of the old Lovers Lane, I mean, you talk about big trees, they were there.
Yeah.
So we need to look at that, and so we need a tree farm. We need to, and speaking of all the intergenerational stuff, the one thing that we've done away with that we have to really get a group back together and start, and that's recycling.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get recycling going back in Roswell. Now, the paradigm has shifted a little bit when China stopped taking electronic products and things like that. So we've got to figure out how we can recycle and how much. And I would hope that maybe the Woolies might help us a little bit. They had their company here, it was always amazing to me that the city charged them a 7.5% fee to recycle, which all it did was keep trash out of, or recyclables out of the landfill, which seemed to be crazy to me because our landfill was already too full, and we didn't save money from the enterprise funds to start another cell, which I never understood that. I mean, as you're dealing with something that holds so much trash, and as you fill it up, you should be putting money aside
for the next cell.
For the next cell.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, that's just
common sense.
And in that enterprise funds, you ought to have money to, if you have a packer out there that smashes it real tight in the ground, then that packer is going to wear out. You should have set money aside to replace it.
Sure.
And of course we didn't. So then we had bond issues on people raising taxes. And,
sure.
I mean, we've got to keep our city in a
better,
sound financial shape.
Smarter, being a smarter steward of the money, and
this screw packer that we're talking about, borrowing money for this thing to squeeze more water out of the
wastewater,
out of the waste, whatever's out there.
I guess
in
my head, I feel like it's a big sponge that this machine squeezes out the pure water and keeps the nasty in it or whatever. I don't know. I didn't pay that much attention to science class.
But see, we're here wanting to borrow money again.
Sure.
And yet we just moved money from enterprise funds over to the Ascent Aviation Project.
Robbing Peter to pay Paul, basically.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I mean, so these are things that we have to look at, and we have to protect our tax base, but we also have to, look and see where we are. There's a great deal of concern right now about what's going on in the water department in our city, and so hopefully we'll get briefed on that.
Sure. So really, that's kind of what you're doing now, is really assessing the ship and seeing where we can adjust and plug holes as needed.
I tried to get. I talked with the leadership that was there. I mean, we have five new people on the council, and I wanted them to go into the budget hearings that they had, or when you had the department heads came and talked to the city administration.
Yeah.
And our administration didn't want our council people in there. I don't subscribe to that theory. I'm a person, I believe, and knowledge doesn't hurt you.
Sure.
And if you have knowledge, you've already stomped out the ignorance.
Sure.
And that's what's important.
Well, then everyone's at least arguing on the same plane.
Yeah, and I want our council to know any option that's out there that's available for our city, not just the ones I pick.
Sure.
I want any option out there so we can pick the best option.
You want good ideas no matter where they come from.
That's right. And that's what I think we're going to get there.
Good deal.
It's
one bite at a time kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's just like the UFO. Okay, so UFO has been changed greatly. But before we had Main Street, and Main Street had, and all the different merchants had little different products. They said, well, now all the products, I guess, have to be bought by the city, and they have to buy them from the city to sell them. Well, that doesn't. I mean,
I don't understand the logic behind that.
That's whether it's brand protection or what, I don't know. But Main Street was really one of the groups that was headstrong when my brother and Mr. Crosby and Dusty Huckabee put the UFO, the 50th anniversary, or the first one or whatever, put them together, put that together on the 50th anniversary of the UFO crash that got us all the notoriety. And, they didn't have any help from the state or anybody. It was all done right here locally with local people.
Rolled up their sleeves and got her done.
Yeah, they did.
We're about out of time here, but tonight, 6 p.m. is the city council meeting. They meet over at the Convention Civic Center there in the chamber meeting space there. public is encouraged and invited to be a part of the meeting. This is something.
Yeah, we'll have plenty of time if you care to enlighten us about something. Come ahead. We'll be looking forward to it.
And of course, if you don't feel comfortable coming in person out there, you can always go to the city's website, roswell-nm.gov. They'll be streaming the meeting live for you, and I believe they have a go-to-meeting link right there on the website as well if you wish to speak on one of the issues during the thing. That'll give you an appropriate time to do all that there. Yeah. And then, of course, tune in tomorrow. We're going to have Mayor Jennings here join us about 8:15 tomorrow to recap what went on and talk about like who gets your pro tem and what some of the decisions that came from some of the things they're going to be voting on tonight. And then, of course, just getting the recap of everything there. So, first off, thank you, sir. Appreciate the visit. And we thank you for their update.
Thank you, Mike.
And make sure you get with Tanner because Fridays are McDonald's Fridays. So we get McDonald's food brought in. So if you have a McDonald's like favorite, make sure you tell Tanner, and he'll make sure he gets one of those for you and have it ready waiting for you in the morning. So
well, I like burritos.
All right,
better,
So they can't go wrong.
Burrito Express, Burrito More.
All right.
And I like McDonald's too, but that's for lunch.
All right. Well, maybe we'll get you one of them. We'll keep one of those burritos on the side just in case you get a hankering while you're here. So,
all right.
Thank you, sir.
You, Mike.
We'll see you in the morning. All right. Take care. It is 8:56. We're going to do a quick break before news. Don't go away.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. California wants electric vehicle sales to triple in the next 4 years to 35% of all new car purchases.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Cirillo. 2 people have died as a result of the McBride fire, which grew to more than 5,300 acres on Wednesday. The deaths were said to be in Ruidoso after fire crews responded to a home on fire along Gavilan Canyon Road. Village police said the couple had tried to evacuate but remained unaccounted for, so that prompted the deputies to go to their home. The names of the couple is being withheld until notification of family. Tumbleweeds drifting along the Rio Grande as sandbars within its banks grow wider. Smoke from distant wildfires and dust kicked up by intense spring winds fill the valley, exacerbating the feeling of distress that's beginning to weigh on residents. One of North America's longest rivers, the Rio Grande, is another example of a waterway in the western U.S. that's about tapped out. From the Pacific Northwest to the Colorado River Basin, irrigation districts already are warning farmers to expect less this year, despite growing demand. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
At LeGrand Funeral Chapel, we believe that every funeral should be a reflection of the life it honors. The joys, the triumphs, the faith, the family, and so much more. For us, no detail is too small, no request too big. This is Rosa Aguilar. When the time comes to choose a funeral home, we hope you'll let us serve your family. At LeGrand Funeral Chapel and Crematory, we make it personal.
Join Church on the Move Good Friday, April 15th from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. for an outdoor fun-filled family night with a free Easter egg hunt for kids ages 12 and under. Every age group that participates in the egg hunt will have a chance to win prizes, including Nintendo Switches and lots of free candy. Plus, Church on the Move will have a free feeding and petting zoo with over 40 animals, including zebras, llamas, yaks, and kangaroos. Free mechanical bull, surfboard, blow-up games, and free paintballing for the teenagers. We'll also have our local food trucks on hand with all of your favorite food. Come and join in on this fun-filled family night on Good Friday at Church on the Move, 901 West Brasher in Roswell, starting at 5:30 p.m.
Crack the vault and save this month at Roswell Honda with an amazing selection of vehicles priced to move so you don't have to break the bank. Like a 2016 Audi A3 for just $211 a month, a 2014 Chrysler Town & Country for just $181 a month, or a 2010 Honda Odyssey for just $161 a month. Get a 12-pack of soda and a trip to Mexico just for stopping by, a $15 gas gift card with a test drive, and a car detailing kit with purchase. And crack the code for your chance to win cash all month long at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Hugh Hewitt is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. He has described himself as a free speech absolutist, and he has his sights set on Twitter. Tesla chief Elon Musk offering $43 billion cash for the social media company. Right now, he holds a 9% stake in Twitter. And given Musk's strong stand for free speech, Donald Trump supporters hoping that if he does take over Twitter, Musk would bring the former president back. Ukraine's military claiming responsibility for a devastating fire. It's taken a key Russian warship out of service. The vessel is the flagship of Russia's Black Sea Fleet. Well, did the Ukrainians do it? White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan.
We don't have the capacity at this point to independently verify that, but certainly the way that this unfolded, it's a big blow to Russia. This is their flagship, the Moscow, and they have now been forced to admit that it has been badly damaged.
Sullivan addressing the Economic Club of Washington. Half-dozen U.S. lawmakers making an unannounced visit to Taiwan.
The members of Congress are in Taiwan in a show of support to the island in the face of Chinese pressure. The bipartisan group includes Democrat Bob Menendez, who chairs the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, and Republican Senator Lindsey Graham. The United States has no formal relations with Taiwan, but the Biden administration has been vocal in its rock-solid commitment to the democratically governed island. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Powerful storms, including tornadoes, have pounded vast areas of the South and the Midwest this week. The violent weather blamed for at least one death and a lot of property damage. Updating Wall Street, the Dow 110 points higher. The Nasdaq is down 154 points, and the S&P is off 17. More on these stories at townhall.com.
So when we brought him home, we didn't realize that Bear, the rescue dog, was actually sick. He had very flaky skin. He was dropping a lot of fur, and Levette wanted to do steroid injections, special dog food. Nothing seemed to work, so I was at a dead end.
DINOVITE.com.
I've been hearing Dinovite on the radio for years. It never actually crossed my mind to try it until it finally sunk in. Oh, you're talking about hair and skin. And, all right, I'll try it. Well, it took probably 6 weeks, but after we started using Dinovite, no more flaky skin. He doesn't scratch and itch, and he started to put weight on.
Dinovite is nutrition.
I wish that we would have started the Dinovite right away. It would have been so much easier.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
Every rescue dog in America deserves Dinovite for 90 days.
DINOVITE.com.
Search and rescue operations continue in a South African province hit by severe flooding, the worst flooding in more than 3 decades, blamed for several hundred deaths.
There are many communities that are still cut off, children that haven't been able to go to school, people that have been displaced in community halls. And so the government says it's still moving from community to community to assess the needs. But mop-up operations have begun. They have started to restore power and water supplies in some of the affected areas. But there still is very much a state of disaster.
The BBC Shingai Nyoka. The UN's atomic watchdog says it has installed surveillance cameras to monitor a new centrifuge workshop at Iran's underground Natanz site following a request from Tehran. The start of work at that new facility comes after Iran's centrifuge facility was targeted in what Tehran describes as a sabotage attack in June. Townhall.com. Like everything else, cost of selling on Amazon is going up.
Amazon says it's adding a 5% fuel and inflation surcharge on its 2 million or so third-party sellers. Company says the additional charge will take effect on the 28th of this month. Stacy Mitchell with the Institute for Self-Reliance, an anti-monopoly group, says the e-commerce company is in charge of the market.
Amazon now controls access to such a huge share of the online market that any business really that makes or sells anything, they have to go through Amazon.
Mitchell says the vendors paid Amazon $103 billion in fees, a fifth of the company's revenue last year. I'm Tim McGuire.
Arraignment later today for accused New York subway shooter Frank James facing a federal terrorism charge. A 62-year-old James is due in federal court in Brooklyn. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the world?
wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos.
Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to it. Hope your day's going swimmingly well.
Yes.
And fire continues. We had more. Let me see if they've done any updates since.
Last I saw was 5,000. I think it's like 5,300 and something acres. 200 structures affected, and 2 fatalities currently.
Oh wow!
That was the update at 8 a.m. I haven't seen it.
And just to dispel some rumors, there was an unrelated structure fire on Meander Road at 4 a.m. this morning, but they wanted to let people know the McBride fire has not crossed onto Meander Road.
That's gotta suck, though, to be watching all this fire happen, then have a completely unrelated incident.
But, you know, they just... Because it did jump Gavilan Canyon Road, the fire yesterday. And so they wanted to let people know it has not jumped that road. So if you did see that or know about that fire from wee hours of the morning here, then not related. Good news there. So, but they did have some their first fatalities yesterday. 2 fatalities. Apparently, an elderly couple that perished in their structure fire, their home fire.
Yeah.
But yeah, 5,736 acres.
700 now. Okay.
5,700, 0% contained, 200 plus primary residence structures lost or damaged, and now 2 fatalities. So very unfortunate there. The good news is the wind's less today, so hopefully that will give the firefighters and the work crews out there a chance to kind of maybe get to where they can start doing some containment and those kind of things. And so now hopefully we'll start getting reports where, all right, now we got it 2% contained.
This is the one situation where you actually want someone to put a damper on things.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
We need somebody to put a damper on this situation.
Yeah. We love some rain.
That's right. What's doggone it? What's the SNL character?
Which one?
The one who always got sad.
See, there's so many.
Can't think of the name of the character.
I can't either. Move
on.
Sorry.
My mind's on the fire right now. I'm not thinking.
Sorry. Yeah, I don't. And I wasn't a big SNL guy anyway. Like, I know the hits, but I didn't loyally watch SNL for any stretch of any time. I caught bits and pieces of episodes or watched episodes, but I
literally couldn't think of the phrase Debbie Downer. Yeah. That's how off my brain is today.
Well, I didn't get it either, so.
Not to be all Debbie Downer on the situation, but yeah, somebody needs to put a damper on this Rudo. So I bet it was somebody texting you, Debbie Downer.
Gotcha.
So, I don't know, the fire rages on, and it's a sad situation.
But yes, we get more updates on that. We'll let folks know about that there. There's something else I was going to mention too, and I just slipped my brain here. But of course, with the Good Friday weekend, Easter Sunday and Good Friday here on Friday, lots of stuff going on. Lots of different churches and things having Easter celebrations and Good Friday festivities and things. A lot of Easter egg hunts this weekend. Get involved. I know Church on the Move's got one, the Westminster Presbyterian Church.
There's a ton.
I think just about every single church in town has got some kind of Easter services and or some kind of Easter egg hunt or something like that.
Moms, dads, if your kids don't have more candy than they know what to do with by the end of this weekend, you didn't do it right.
You know one thing I haven't really had in this season of Easter?
What's that?
I haven't had my Cadbury egg yet.
You know, I haven't had a Cadbury egg yet this year either.
And I've seen them. They're there.
Yeah.
They're about.
It feels, I don't know.
I just haven't had one.
I feel like a Cadbury egg to me is just too much all at once.
Oh, I love them.
I used to adore it. I could, double up on Cadbury eggs easy.
Yeah.
But now one just feels like so much richness.
Yeah.
And just.
But I like that. And then to me that's perfect because I don't want another egg.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's all of the satisfaction I need in that one egg-sized candy.
Sure.
Like I'm a fat guy. I'm known to tear through entire bags of products. That is one of the few I feel like, no, I can just eat the one egg-sized candy and I'm satisfied and satiated for now.
You know what weirdly my favorite always was? Were the Butterfinger eggs.
Okay. I don't think I really had the eggs.
Love the Butterfinger eggs. Like the mini ones or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are great.
I'm hit or miss on Butterfinger. Butterfinger's fine. It tastes fine. Never in my top 5 of candies.
Really? Because it's easily my
not me.
I would say probably my 3.
That
because whatchamacallit's my top seed.
That crunch, that nougaty, whatever they put in the middle of Butterfingers.
Yeah.
Is okay to me. It's kind of ghetto.
Let
I'd
me
rather
ask
have
you
other
this.
things.
And maybe this is a regional thing.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever enjoy a Chico stick?
I don't even know what that is.
See, it must be. I know they have them here too.
Yeah.
They're harder to find.
Yeah.
But back home, back in Oklahoma, they're everywhere. You go into any like Straub's, any Stuckey's, any corner gas station.
We never had anything like that.
Next to the containers of the beef jerky with the tongs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always had that.
Okay.
And it was
no, we never had that.
No?
Not that I recall seeing.
Okay.
There's certain things and there's another one that they have a lot around here that I never saw was that red peanut disc thing that they sell at stores.
Goodies or whatever.
Which, by the way, revolting.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever designed that thing
it's not
doesn't
good.
know what
it's not. You know what it is?
Food tastes like.
It's good if you enjoy old candy. Like if you like.
Who enjoys old candy?
Well, hold on. If you're someone who enjoys a Necco wafer every now and again.
No one does that.
Yes, they do.
No one does that.
Why are they still for sale then?
Because
you can get them everywhere, and I know a person who does in fact enjoy a pack of Necco wafers on occasion. Pretty regularly, actually.
They probably need their head examined.
You're not too far. They actually have a licorice flavored Necco wafer, and she likes the licorice flavored Necco wafer.
Oh, revolting.
I know. I would agree. I would tend to agree, but
these are the people that have not experienced life.
Those are the people, and I know she doesn't like the goodie patties, but those are the people that usually those are for.
Oh, those things are gross too.
A peanut patty. I mean,
these are people that have rough childhoods and weren't treated to good things.
But the Chico stick,
nasty things like Necco wafers are good to them.
The Chico stick, I say a different Chico stick, whatever. It's basically the inside of a Butterfinger with the coconut on the outside, toasted coconut, and it's really good. They're really good.
See, I'm not a big fan of that.
Dang,
I'll
eat
eat
Chico stick now.
I'll eat it. It's fine, but it's not.
I had to stop eating them, before with teeth issues, because boy, it'll tear up a set of teeth.
Imagine
a regular Chico stick habit.
Yeah, they start sticking to your because that Butterfinger too will kind of stick to your teeth too a little bit, which is it tasted like stale peanut butter to me or something.
See, I've always enjoyed it.
Like I don't know
the crispy, crunchy peanut butter.
Certain things that remind me of feet. And
not a sponsor.
And that's kind of in that area of feet, so I don't like it.
I'm trying to think. My top 3, I would say whatchamacallit 1 seed, Hershey's with almonds 2, Symphony would be probably 4 because I gotta put again. Butterfinger.
So you're picking all
3.
these fancify.
I love the Symphony with the toffee and almonds.
Yeah,
you're not going to find a much better high end candy bar.
Okay,
but if you're going to get it though, and this is how I thought as a fat guy, you got to get that like ridiculously big one you get from the Walgreens.
Yeah,
that like this is for a family, right?
Yeah.
No. This is for a Saturday. I got a binge session coming up.
Score is always in my top 5.
Score is up there. Score is probably my 5.
Score, M&M peanuts. I've always got to have those. Those are a top 5. Weirdly enough, and I don't even know if they make them anymore. The peanut butter Snickers, the blue ones that came in the blue bag.
I don't think they make those ones anymore.
Loved those. Those were good. Great. By far
the ones with the squares.
Yes.
The squares, yeah.
By far, and people are going to get mad when I say this, by far the best product Snickers has ever put out. I like Snickers. I like their almond butter. I like them all. But those peanut butter joints, oh my goodness.
Those were good. Those were real good.
Delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Goobers in there.
Yeah.
And then rounding out that cast, this is where I get a little like wishy-washy because I love Kit Kat, but I don't know if I want to put that in top 5 because at the end of the day, it's kind of a weak candy bar.
It is. It doesn't bring a lot to the table,
but I love the taste of it.
But it also is a great base that you could do a lot of variations on.
Yeah. Whatchamacallit's right in there too. I do enjoy the original Whatchamacallit.
Right.
Not all the offshoot stuff, the OG. And I always liked the 100-gram bars.
Oh, God, I forgot about 100 grams.
Those were good. Those are always in the wheelhouse.
Then, you know what? And then there's those sneaky ones, those late to the game ones. Remember when Take 5 came out?
Yeah.
That became a thing?
That's the one with pretzels in it, right?
That's the one with the pretzels in it.
That is tasty.
That's a sleeper, dude.
Yeah, it is a sleeper. But, yeah.
Candy debate rages on.
All right. I'm sure Larry is like, will you shut up about the candy and let me in there to talk. Joining us here in just a few minutes from the Roswell Literacy Council, Larry Martin will give us an update on what's happening out at the Literacy Council. Later on, we'll get you up to date with the news of the local variety along with your town hall business update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. Before we do any of that, though, let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty mild today. Afternoon highs in the upper 70s to low 80s, and we should get plenty of sunshine with low pressure headed out of our area, so not too windy. We'll be in the low 40s and clear for the overnight hours, and then the wind picks up a little bit on Friday, mainly in the afternoon. Gusts up to 30 miles an hour. Sunshine and a lot warmer with upper 80s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 53 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 6% with winds currently out of the northwest at 7 miles per hour. We do have a red flag warning for today. That's going to take effect beginning at noon and remain in effect through 8 p.m. The good news is the winds and things not nearly as bad as yesterday, but with that 6% humidity, with the dry conditions, still very, very good recipe for fire there, so be careful. But sunny and 80 today. Winds will be out of the southwest, 5 to 15, much more manageable than what we've been dealing with. Tonight, mostly clear with an overnight low of 43. Winds will be out of the southwest, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Friday, sunny skies. We're expecting highs right around 90, 89 officially. Southeast winds 5 to 15 in the morning, picking up 15 to 20 for the afternoon. Friday night, mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 49. Winds will be out of the west, 15 to 20, dropping down 5 to 10 after midnight. And then looking at your weekend, partly cloudy and 86 for a high on Saturday. Winds will be out of the northwest, 5 to 15. Sunday, sunny skies, a high of 88 expected there. So warmer temperatures, but like I said, these, and matter of fact, I forgot to mention, we will have a fire weather watch tomorrow as well, April 15th, from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. So that may change over to more red flag warnings for tomorrow. Again, breezy, but with that winds, I think the humidity is the real factor here when we talk about the red flag and all that. These 5 and 6% humidities, that's dry. That's tinderbox dry. So be careful out there. All right, it is 20 minutes after 9. We're going to take a 3-minute commercial break, and then Larry's going to be joining us from the Roswell Literacy Council on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
So what am I doing with my tax refund? I'm giving my home a makeover with new furniture from Glenn's. A new living room, dining room, and bedroom. Even a curio cabinet for my elephant collection. Glenn's has beautiful, high-quality furniture that I'll be proud of for years. And Glenn's will deliver it for free. So my tax refund and I are headed for Glenn's. And my home is going to be fresh, bright, and beautiful. Since 1953, people have been coming to Glenn's Furniture at the corner of Union and Alameda in Roswell.
Roll in and win during the Moneyopoly sales event at Roswell Nissan for 6 big days, April 11th through the 16th. Get game-changing savings on a great selection of vehicles, like a 2017 Chevy Malibu for just $279 a month, a 2018 Escape for only $249 a month, or a 2015 Rogue for just $149 a month. Play the Plinko Cash Grab for your shot at cold hard cash and register to win a brand new swimming pool. Plus, bring your mailer in for a chance to win $50,000. Moneyopoly, April 11th through the 16th at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd.
How do you know if someone loves you? Often someone will tell you that you're loved, but wouldn't it be better if they showed you? That's exactly what God has done. First, He told us. All through the Bible, God says that He loves us. But He didn't stop with words, He then showed His love. You know the verse. For God so loved the world that He gave His one and only Son. The interesting thing about God's love is that it's not based on who we are, but on who He is. God doesn't love us because we deserve it. He loves us because it's His nature. This kind of love doesn't exist anywhere else, and it will never let us down. Have you allowed yourself to experience the true love of God? It's available, and God longs to give it to you, but you must be willing to accept it. Come and join us at Country Club Road as we not only encounter the love of God, but then joyously reside in it.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Roswell is our home. That's why we've all got to do our part to stop illegal dumping. Throwing your trash, clutter, or yard debris in the alleys, sidewalks, or streets is a crime, and it takes time and money to clean it up. Those caught dumping illegally can face fines of up to $500. You can help by taking your waste to the landfill once a month for free with a paid water bill. Call the City of Roswell Solid Waste Department for more information at 575-624-6746. Help keep Roswell clean. After all, do you want your kids to grow up in a dump?
You know what happens in the spring. It's cleanup time. And AC&B, HF Sinclair, Navajo Refining, and the Boy Scouts are at it again to help clean up our community. The Scouts will come to your house and haul off items that you need to dispose of and have no way of hauling. The dates for pickup are April 23rd, May 28th, June 4, and June 11. Just call 575-513-0143 and let me know when, where, and what. Take advantage of this free service and let's make Artesia clean and beautiful.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. There are 293 ways to make change for $1. Try all 293 on the guy who keeps borrowing money from you. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, actually wearing a couple hats this morning. I give the Roswell Literacy Council, but he's actually wearing multiple hats here this morning. Larry Martin with us, wearing not only his Roswell Literacy Council, but the RSVP as well, too. So good morning. How you doing today?
Good.
Good deal. Well,
good to be here.
Yeah, it's I know COVID, like many people, put a damper on things going on, but it sounds like the Literacy Council, you guys are back to is it all pre-COVID like you were pre-COVID, or pretty close to that?
Yeah, pretty close. But the main problem we have now is that all the volunteers we had have gone to sleep or gone somewhere. And
so you need a new staff of people to come volunteer and be a part of the literacy.
We have a shall we say a solid group now. But in order to tutor the kids, and that's our main object, is to tutor citizens, not just kids.
Yeah.
But last fall, we gave someone, got them up to getting their citizenship. So that's great. You know, you teach them certain things, and mostly of them are Hispanic. We teach them English.
Sure.
And I imagine if somebody wanted to learn Hispanic, we could find you a tutor, too. So
I imagine, yeah. I mean, you could go the other way as well, too, and say, hey, I'm pretty fluent in English, but I'd love to be fluent in Spanish. Well, I'm sure we could find.
We might be able to find someone.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, the Literacy Council is for all folks. If you're, we always talk about kids and literacy and making sure, and which very important. We want to make sure every child has all of that. But really, you guys work with all that. But really, you also want to make sure that adults are where they're at and they need to be. And I know adults. We've talked in the past about the percentages and how you would be surprised the percentage of adults that live in your own backyard here that would be qualified as illiterate here just because and they manage, they get life and they figured out ways, but it could be so much easier if they take that time and I don't care how old you are, how young you are, there's never a time to start learning to read and to be proficient and literate. And that's where you guys really want to make sure you get that word out to people.
Well, it helps if you can read the warning labels on food and your prescription labels on how many pills to take a day, things like that.
Yeah.
And, that's could be life-threatening in some cases.
Absolutely. So, and to be honest, for that information, you're always relying on other people to tell you, and that works, I guess. But if you're trustworthy, and you know what I mean,
if you have a memory,
exactly, so. In a memory, and so that's where we want. If folks are looking to be, to become better readers, to be proficient readers, maybe you can read, but it's only at like a 3rd or 4th grade level. Let's see if we can get that to age appropriate, group level appropriate, where you can. Because now the world's your oyster. Now you're not stuck getting your entertainment from just the television, or you know what I mean. You once you can read, there's nobody stopping you. Nobody telling you what you can't consume and not consume because there's no disability there to prevent you from doing that. So.
Well, I remember when I was a kid, the neighborhood I was in had a bunch of books on Tarzan.
Okay.
And I read every one. It must have been about 20 of them.
Okay.
And I read every one of them when I was about 8 or 9 or so, and it was, to me that was fantasy. That was
the adventure.
Harry Potter of the day.
Yeah.
Harry Potter of the day. And one of the main things the Literacy Council puts on or works with is the Youth Challenge.
Yes.
And the last 2 years we haven't worked with them because they weren't in.
Yeah, they were locked down with COVID as well and had their own protocols and procedures.
And they're back, and we're going to be tutoring some of their guys.
Good.
And I think they start with about 100, and we tutor maybe 20 of them.
Excellent.
And it's usually just basic math and English and
the skill sets required to really, if they needing to obtain a GED or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, very good.
And we find that a lot of them can't. Well, almost all of them are high school dropouts, and I don't want to push their program too much because I don't know a lot about it. But
they do great stuff.
Oh, you betcha!
If you need help,
it's a great state investment. I guarantee that.
Please reach out to them. They're helping people all the time.
As you may notice, every time we have a parade,
they're out there.
They're in it.
Yeah. And I know one of the organizations I work with, the historical society, they scholarships and things. They're working with them too. The Job Corps folks. They're very much part of the fabric of this community and doing a lot of stuff.
They help make Roswell.
Yeah. They contribute as much as they receive help. They give back just as much. So it's awesome.
Which means, indirectly or directly, I guess, that we need tutors to help with these youth.
Sure.
So,
like you said, you're about to get roughly 100 students that you got to put under your tutelage here.
That's right.
And you need some folks to help make that mission happen.
Right.
Very good.
I tutor math. I've been doing it maybe 4 or 5 years now.
Okay.
I lose track. And it's enjoyable. I get 2 or 3 a year, and I always wonder where they went and what they did, but they all learn a little with me.
Well,
I'm sure they do with any tutor we can find that will volunteer to go out there. And we'll check you out first.
Yeah, well, they got to find out.
And make sure you know what you're doing.
Sure.
So it won't be embarrassing.
And that's the thing, too, is you don't have to, sure, if you're a teacher, a retired teacher, or involved in education and want to step up, we'd love to have you do that. But what I'm saying is you don't have to necessarily have that background experience to contribute here. If you can read, if you can do math, if you can do these, the basic skill sets, then the Literacy Council will give you the tools to help you teach those things.
Yes,
the workbooks, the all the material and instruction stuff that you need. All we need is you to be that conduit to present that message and information to the person we're teaching it to, and be that and explain it into ways that make it understandable to them, and so that they can navigate through it, helping them navigate whether it's reading or math or science or whatever basics that you need to pass to get your GED. All those areas, if you kind of do that, and that's where you really need to help, is those people sitting down working with these students, be it adults, kids, or whatever in between, just navigating these workbooks, navigating through the lessons, and kind of helping them have their light bulb moments to when all of it makes sense to them.
Right.
Yeah.
I noticed one of your advertisements has a lady who went back and got her GED at the age of 30.
Mm-hmm.
It's on your radio station.
Yeah.
And that's the point. If you reach a point where you had to drop out of high school for whatever reason,
life happens.
Yeah, it happens. So that's one of the things that the challenge does, is it tries to get GEDs for some of their kids. They can't get them all, obviously, but I mean, if you can't multiply, you'll have a hard time getting through calculus.
Yeah.
But you don't have to do that for a GED.
Right.
So.
But you know what? You do need to multiply. And you're going to need that to live. I mean, we talk math, and you'd be amazed how often you use math in the day, and probably don't even realize you're using math. Even your brain's just
that's right
automatically doing that.
And if you can't do that, if you've depended on a calculator now for the last 10 years, like I think that. I won't criticize education too much.
Humanity has relied on this thing for everything nowadays.
Right,
this
right.
smartphone has turned into our brains, and not always for the good.
Well, like you say, a lot of it is automatic. When I see 7 and 6, I see 42.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, when I teach these students, I say 7 and 6, and it takes them about 30 seconds to get to 42 because they're using their fingers.
Right.
So that's okay if they get there, but my object is to get it there faster.
Get it automatic, more shortcuts, more second nature to you. And then, I mean, you get everyone. We all do it. How many times you go to the store and you're walking through and you're doing the math in your head, right? There's a steak, there's potato. That's going to cost me this. I mean, that's math. That's applying these skill sets that you've been learning all the time in school, or what graduates learn to do that. This is what you'll get. So.
And you're afraid of your doing your taxes too, because your math is suspect.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
anyway,
and you feel like, well, if I messed up the grocery bill a little bit, no big deal. But you mess up your taxes, now you got, people with government initials in front of you crawling up your butt. You don't want that either.
Yeah,
so.
I won't make any comment on that.
Another discussion for another day here. But if you're interested in volunteering, maybe whether it's a couple hours a week or a couple days a month or whatever it is that you're available for, whatever it is, we'd love to have you be a part of that. What's probably the best way to reach out to you guys?
Well,
to
we're in
become
the
a
phone
volunteer?
book, Literacy Council.
Okay.
It might be under Roswell Literacy Council.
Okay. I think everything I've seen and heard, it's under Roswell Literacy Council. So if you don't find it under that, look under Literacy Council. Right. But check Roswell Literacy Council first.
Yeah.
And reach out that way. And then you guys still meeting up at the office up the street here? Or
Yes,
is that
on
still
10th Street.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
we own the building. We take care of it. That's our major expense, is keeping the building running.
The upkeep, paying the light bill and all that.
Yeah, we got a lot of computers and rooms to study.
Well, in essence, that's your classrooms. That's your tutoring center there. So got to have internet, got to have computers and lights and all the tools needed to educate. So very good. So, and I imagine you could probably even use help in all that type of stuff. So maybe you're thinking, well, I'm not the best at teaching, but if you need help, keeping your computers up to date, doing all the ancillary stuff that's required of running a nonprofit organization. Probably always looking for volunteers on that side of things too. If maybe you're not good at working one-on-one with people, but you're good at making sure that the computers work and the lights work and the doors operate and all those kinds of stuff. Always looking for volunteers to kind of be a part of the part of the duck under the water where that makes the legs move 100. We need some of those people too.
That's right. You don't see them, but it's working.
Yeah, absolutely. What else do we want to mention there on the literacy council?
I was talking to a buddy of mine who we're an RSVP, which is Roswell retired service. Senior.
I never knew what the actual RSVP stood for.
Yeah, retired senior volunteers and
program.
Basically 55 and up.
Gotcha.
But there's a lot of people retired who are sitting around, like I say, picking your nose and trying to figure out what to do.
Maybe you've lost like your sense of purpose a little bit. You're retired or whatever. You're like, I'm getting up and I ain't got nothing to do today. What am I going to do?
Well, if you want to get involved, we RSVP is really a central point of locating volunteers,
seniors that are looking for something.
Yeah, and put them in a position such as building new homes for
like Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah, Habitat.
Okay.
And we have several. We work with Harvest Ministries, and we just find volunteers for them.
Okay.
And it's no cost. We don't charge anything. We're supported by the feds and by the state.
Nice.
A very minor amount, I might add, because we don't have many expenses.
You ain't gonna be sipping pina coladas under palm trees with this funding. Huh?
If they're doing it, they don't tell me.
No, not that kind of funding, but and so really, if you're someone 55 and up looking to get involved in more things, or maybe you're retired or about to be retired, and you're saying, you know what, because I know what happens. I'm near 50. You start thinking about things, and you're kind of like, you're thinking, man, it's gonna be great. I don't have to get up in someone else's schedule, and then you do it for a little bit, and you're like, all right, I'm kind of bored. What do you, I'm tired of doing.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, it's like I'm so used to having a laid out schedule all day, and after a while, you kind of miss it. You kind of miss that. I mean, at first you're like, woo, party, and pantsless viewings of watching TV and all the things you
But stay in your pajamas till noon, that kind of thing.
That's fun for a week or two, but then after a while, you're kind of like, all right, I need something. And here's what happens is you're going to start meeting these people and get invested, and next thing you know, your passions are going to change. You're going to change from whatever your job was to seeing these people, and then you individually making an impact on these people's lives every day, and you're going to get invested, and you're going to get caring, and I dare I say, you're probably going to make some friendships and some personal relationships with some folks that will probably enhance and enrich and make your life that much better.
So. Well, we know there's a lot of retired people in town.
Yeah. So let's.
We welcome you to come do something with some other retired people.
That's a big workforce of labor right there. Let's give them a purpose and put them to good use for some stuff and helping out our community. All of which our people have chewed a lot more dirt, a lot more experience and wisdom than we possess, and let's tap into that, and utilize that. That's when we talk about humanity, sometimes I think our greatest gift and asset is that wisdom in things. It's the ability to have our elders and our folks that have experienced life passing that knowledge on to the younger generations. That's how humanity works. That's how humanity thrives and survives. So as we get older, our responsibilities change from doing the work to being the ones that mentor the people doing the work. And that's kind of our role in society at that point. And
now, RSVP is under Chavez County.
Under Chavez County.
Chavez County.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking about, if you're a senior and 55 up and have a desire to serve, look up RSVP, and maybe you don't know where. That's where I think.
It's under Chavez.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to serve, but not knowing where you best can serve, I think that's where RSVP can help you.
Well, if you go in and talk to Sean, he's the gentleman there.
Oh, yeah, we've had Sean on.
Yeah,
it's been a while, but we've had him on show.
Yeah, I asked him. He said he'd been here before.
Oh, yeah, he's been on quite a few.
He didn't want to go back or something like that. I can't remember what he said. Anyway.
He didn't like my... No, I'm just kidding. Said that guy had bad breath or something.
Anyway, he'll tell you what connections we have. We don't have connections with everybody, different, administrative techniques or whatever, organizations. Anyway, he can connect you to several places.
Sure.
That help the homeless, help the people in town.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps Roswell be a better city.
I think, don't they get involved a lot with Senior Olympics and stuff too, RSVP?
Yes.
I think they partner a lot with them on Senior Olympics issues and things.
They have people down at the Joyce Center.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they're kind of all over. They got their finger in a lot of pies around.
I can't remember all of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
But another great way to be plugged in, be connected, and to be a vessel for you to be a conduit to serve in this community. Right. So please look into this kind of stuff. Now that we're starting to creep out of the COVID, everyone's coming out of their homes and getting back to trying to recreate life before all this and getting it back to normal. This is how we do that. And this is so, folks, if you'd love to get involved, maybe you're newly retired now. Maybe you weren't retired going into COVID. Now you are a retiree and thinking, you know what? Now that things are happening again, I want to get involved. I want to get active. I want to reach out. Let's get involved with the Literacy Council, RSVP, organizations like this that can do a lot of great for our community.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, I know the moment, and if you think, because I know there's probably other people out there that think that I'm not cut out for that. That's not me. I couldn't sit down and mentor a person on how to read. I don't know if I've got the pay. And trust me, you'll be surprised what you can do. And I'm telling you, once you have your success, your first success, then it's going to bite you like a bug. You're going to be like, that was so cool. The feeling you get when you have a person that did not understand something and not comprehend it, and then they have that light bulb moment over all that you've been talking about clicks, where for whatever it is, the reading or what, and then you have that moment, it's like, oh, I'm telling you, it's going to be a moment that fills you with joy and fills you with purpose, and I'm not going to lie, it's going to give you fuel to help the next one. Because there's going to be days where you get frustrated, and then you have that moment, and that just erases all the frustrations. The moment you're like, this is why I'm here today, because I just made someone's life better because of this.
Right.
Yeah, and that's all you're doing. And it's one person at a time. And so if you'd like to get involved, please reach out. Go look up the Roswell Literacy Council in the phone book. Give them a call. You guys have the Facebook. Do you still keep that active too, the Roswell Literacy Council?
I don't
Facebook?
have anything to do with that, so I'm not sure how active it is.
Well, you can try to leave a message. If you don't get anybody, they don't keep. You know what? Don't hesitate to shoot to us. We'll make sure it gets.
We do take messages. It's not someone on duty all day because we can't afford to pay them.
Sure.
So as a result, we do have a recording.
Gotcha.
You can leave a message.
Leave a voicemail.
Yeah,
if you don't get it.
voicemail. Yeah.
Well, it's like it's all volunteers. It's
Right.
all a bunch of people that are just donating of their time and energy to make the Literacy Council happen here. Yeah. So if there's not someone manning the phones, leave a voicemail. They get back to you as soon as someone's in the. And like I said, especially for tutoring and stuff, I imagine your hours are all over the place. It's at the convenience of the people that are needing the help. So
exactly,
if it's the middle of the day for them that works best, then there's people in the office in the middle of the day doing it. If it's at 7:00 at night after work when they're in there doing it, then that's when they're doing it.
Well, naturally, a lot of them are retired teachers. It's obvious that they're attracted to that.
Sure. But even like some of the people you're helping, maybe they are working a full-time job. They can't afford to be out there during the day, so they're trying to get their GEDs or getting their appropriate education, on the weekends and after hours and things like that. And you guys work with all that. So, yeah. And then for RSVP, what's probably the best way to reach out through there? Do you know?
The phone book under Chavez County
RSVP.
Yeah, I keep saying Chavez. I was in California. It was Chavez in California.
Well, I used to say Chavez, and then they used to give me a hard time. It's not Chavez, it's Chavez. So I've adopted it. No one's yelled at me since I said Chavez, so I guess I'm doing it right.
The Literacy Council, too. If you remember, I was there last year for the Knowledge Bowl.
Yeah.
And we're planning on doing it sometime in September or October after school gets going. And
so if you...
we won't be on a Cowboy football game day.
That's probably good planning.
That.
Yeah. Avoid any... Friday nights for high school football and Sundays for the pros. Those are 2 days in the fall you probably don't want to mess with, and because you're going to find out that a lot of other people have important priorities on those days.
Right.
So, but so you can start putting your teams together. If you haven't chance to participate, we did it the last time you guys had when I was with the American Legion post then, but we participated.
That's right.
And,
the Eagles has always been there, and Altruza has always been there.
And I imagine our American Legion post will be back this year putting a team in.
Good.
We have a group that loves doing trivia and doing that kind of stuff. But, it's a lot of fun. you put your teams together here, and it's all fundraising event for the Literacy Council. Every single dime that you pay for registration fees and all that goes to help the programs and everything at the Literacy Council. So, but yeah, you can compete for bragging rights. I think you got some prizes, some pretty cool prizes and stuff too for your winners, if I remember.
Well,
right.
it wasn't much in prizes, but we do give you snacks for the afternoon.
They do have great food. Yeah,
2 or 3 hours of good fun.
If you walked away hungry from that event, you kind of it's your own fault.
It's your own fault.
You. But yeah, we had a great time and a lot of camaraderie, a lot of good. It's just fun. A little bit of banter back and forth. Everything's friendly and everything's fun, but it's just a bunch of people basically. And if I remember right, you had a good turnout. We had about 20 teams or so that were competing that year.
Well, we'd like to have more. We can put 40 of them in the Joint Center.
It looked like a lot. I just remember seeing a bunch of competitors. So
if we have to, we'll lease the convention center. But
there you go.
That'll be the future. That'll be a long way.
That'd be a good problem to have, right? Yeah. So, or maybe you have to do it outdoors someplace. It gets
we invited all the high schools, and I talked to the superintendent at the time, and we were kind of disappointed because none of them showed up.
Yeah.
None of them participated. We didn't give them enough advance or something.
They probably would have wiped the floor with us, too.
Well, they probably would have, but the questions are designed for youth, old, and middle. And
I know you guys do
sports and non-sports and history and non-history, geography. I mean, there are a lot of questions.
Yeah.
So I personally come up with.
So
don't bribe me.
A pro tip, if you're assembling your team, it behoove you to kind of try to get experts in various categories. So if you have a sports person, then, put them on the team. If you have maybe a math person, put them on the team. If you have a person who maybe is good at literature or that kind of stuff, put them on. If you've got a sports trivia or a movie buff or TV buff, try to get something from as many broad categories as possible. So that way you kind of cover all your bases as far as where the general knowledge questions.
It helps to have a teenager because he'll know all the youth questions.
Yeah, you want a youngin'.
And I will have some.
You want a youngin'. Maybe the real thing is to go generational. Get you a millennial, get you a Gen Xer, get you a baby boomer, and because you're gonna need a couple Cliff Clavin types from Cheers. You got to have those guys in there,
Mm-hmm.
the ones who have a tidbit about everything. But then you're going to need a couple on the trigger fast people too. Because sometimes knowledgeable people are pontificators, and speed is not their. They're built for comfort, not for speed. But you're going to need a little speed to get in on the.
Well, we thought it was speed was important. Like for instance, we started at a minute. Everybody had an answer in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So we went down to 30 seconds, and then every once in a while someone couldn't get an answer. But generally speaking, with 5 men on a team or people on a team, one of them has an answer in 10 seconds.
Sure. You either know it or you don't.
Yeah.
And occasionally you're like, I know it. Give me a second. I got to rack the name. It's in there somewhere. And that's the biggest issue. And you're like, oh, I know who it is. I picture the face. What's the name? And that's the biggest hurdles.
Well, we also had questions. Nobody answered. So I was proud of that.
Yeah. That's your, Larry's like, not answered. I did my job.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't really go. This is not trivia. This is not unimportant stuff.
Yeah. He's the stunt master.
The questions are important.
Yeah.
Geography, you really ought to know. Like, what's the, where's Greenland?
Yeah.
Everybody knows what that is.
Yeah. There is basic things that I think every human being should at least be aware of. You know what I mean? And you're right. That's one of them is.
In any case, get your team. I'll put a little promo here. Get your teams, 5 people. It costs $100 as a donation.
Yes.
Tax deductible if anyone wants it deducted. And we meet generally be a Sunday afternoon when everyone else is relaxing.
Yeah.
The only thing is a NFL ball game.
Yeah.
And
we'll pick it on Dallas's bye week. That way.
That's my plan.
Yeah, there you go. But look for this here in September in the fall. We'll and of course we'll get these guys in and start hyping it more as we get close to the event and getting putting out the call for teams or people that want to get involved. But in the meantime, if you'd like to reach out and be a part of the Literacy Council or RSVP, either one to volunteer to work in our community, RSVPs for our 55 and up seniors, Literacy Council. Boom to the tomb. If you're going to help, we got room for you, kind of thing. So, but for folks, seniors, retired folks, young, whatever, we'd love to have you come be a part of the Literacy Council, teaching folks to read or teaching, getting folks competent for their GEDs or English as a second language. We get a lot of folks there. So if you got some bilingual folks, that would be very useful for the Literacy Council here to help with tutoring and training and things like that too. So, and then put the bee in the bonnet. Start putting together those Knowledge Bowl teams. Start getting your sports person, your literature person, your math person, your generational young person, old person, token all that to cover all bases, and then assemble your team of 5 for here in September. So.
We would like to invite all of the service clubs, like Altrusa has been there a long time.
Yeah.
But Kiwanis and Rotary.
Yeah, get them all out there.
See, Lions Club was there last time, and Sertoma and Optimist.
Yeah.
And like all of those guys, I challenge you to put 5 guys on there to beat the Lions.
Yeah.
The Lions came in real high last year.
Yeah, Lions were. They were on their A game. I think we came in second, if I remember right, second or third. I don't remember off the top of my head, but there's some. We need some competition out there. So calling out the Kiwanis and the Elks. And like you said,
American Legion was there.
American Legion.
So
get you out there. There's 2 posts now in the area. We can get 2 Legion teams in there. So let's get.
We get high enough, we'll get on CBS Wild World of Sports.
There you go. I heard the VFW guys are trying to get back together. Maybe you can put a Knowledge Bowl team together. Yeah. So definitely, let's get out there. So, Larry, is there anything we missed? Anything we wanted to share about either that we didn't get a chance to talk about?
Well, we invited all the high schools,
okay,
including Lake Arthur, and all of them in the driving distance.
Yeah.
That way.
Well, maybe now that the world's open up and stuff, people will be ready to come out for this one here in September.
So. Last year, the Youth Challenge won the high school.
Wow! So there's the gauntlet.
So that's it, and they help us run it. Frankly, we'd have a hard time running it without them.
All I'm saying is, maybe Goddard, Roswell University High. I think you could take them. You got to prove it, though. You got to get out there and put out your team.
You got to get out there and prove it.
Yeah, so get out there.
Don't be embarrassed.
Yeah, Lake Arthur, where are you at? Dexter, Hagerman, where are you at? Come on out there.
Yeah.
Prove your teachers that show them your teachers know what they're doing. They taught you a bunch of good stuff. Get them in there and kick some tail.
If we have time.
Yeah.
Okay. I work with RSVP and we work with volunteer organizations, but we've noticed that I'm also with the Midday Lions Club.
Okay.
And we've noticed that the service organizations, which we have 7 or 8 in town, and they're all good organizations, and they all do a lot of work, and they have a lot of advertisements show things in the paper about Students of the Month and a lot of good stuff. So I would like to encourage the people who are not doing anything to volunteer. Check out one of these service clubs. They may be doing what you want to do.
Sure.
And you'll never know until you visit. And they will all welcome visitors.
Absolutely.
So you have to find out.
Get involved. This is and I've been saying this, for the last 2 years here with this COVID and everything. We've got to play catch up on a lot of stuff.
You got it.
Educating our kids. The nonprofit side of the world has been hurt very badly in COVID, and we've got a lot of resuscitating to do on this stuff. Some organizations have gone by the wayside. They're gone. They're just they can't recoup here, and others are trying to come out of the ashes here and be the phoenix, be the ones. And Literacy Council, like, hey, we got the resources in place. We just need the people. We need the volunteers. We need the people in need to come back. We need all of that stuff. So reach out. Now's the time, especially with schools. Kids being behind the 8 ball the last 3 years in school with not being in school or being in a virtual version, or especially these younger kids that now they're in 2nd and 3rd grade before they've ever stepped foot in a classroom. We've got some kids like that, and so things like this, the Literacy Council, are that much more important to focus on because it's going to be things like this that help make up the difference that was lost on some of these folks over the last 3 years.
We found out with working with Challenge that guys and girls drop out of high school. And it starts back in the 3rd or 4th grade when they can't do math or they can't read. You get to be about middle school, you're a dummy in class. And pretty soon you get in high school and say, what the heck, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is emotional embarrassment.
Sure.
And if you can catch them earlier, which I congratulate grammar schools, for Pete's sake.
Yeah.
You can get out of the 6th grade knowing math and reading, you've done pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
You have a good head start on the rest of the
Absolutely,
life.
yeah. It's not that they don't have the ability to learn it. It's just it's the social side of it. There's you're not where you're supposed to be. There's ridicule, embarrassment. There's that feeling of insuperiority and all of that stuff, and that's what's dampering it. We got to put all that aside and said, I don't care. And that's what Literacy Council. I don't care if you're 75 years old.
That's right. As you get older, you can contribute somewhere. Just got to find it.
And if you're in need, I don't care. 80, you can't read, now's a great time to start doing it. But if you're still walking this earth, living and breathing, then you still got time to make yourself a better person.
Exactly.
Yeah. Good deal. Well, Larry, as always, appreciate the visit. And like I said, we'll see you here next time. We'll definitely, as we get closer to September date here, we'll get fast and furious on getting people to sign teams up. And love to have a problem where you run out of tables at the to running out of tables to put teams at.
I think our limit is 40, but we could probably squeeze put one of them in the men's room.
Yeah, we could. We get we put them in the cheap seats if we need to. Well, thank you, Larry. As always, we'll see you next time. Okay.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, it is 9:56. Let's go ahead and do Chaves County Sports Update. Quick break before we go.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. Well, you know how some games, they say, are closer than they appear? Well, yeah, it's true. Sometimes it's a little bit closer than it appears, and that was the case yesterday in the second game of a softball doubleheader between Artesia and Goddard. This was in Roswell, and Goddard came into the game on not a good stretch, having lost several games in a row by blowouts, but and they lost the first game to Artesia by a score of 15-1, so that was expected. Second game turned out to be 15-2, but that was a little bit closer than the score indicates. Goddard was actually up 2-1 in the bottom of the fourth inning after a 2-run homer by Avery Chavez, but Artesia bounced right back 10 runs in the top of the fifth, homers by Cadence Ray, Madison Martinez, and the blowout was on. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell Talk FM 106.5.
Join Church on the Move Good Friday, April 15th from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. for an outdoor fun-filled family night with a free Easter egg hunt for kids ages 12 and under. Every age group that participates in the egg hunt will have a chance to win prizes, including Nintendo Switches and lots of free candy. Plus, Church on the Move will have a free feeding and petting zoo with over 40 animals, including zebras, llamas, yaks, and kangaroos. Free mechanical bull, surfboard, blow-up games, and free paintballing for the teenagers. We'll also have our local food trucks on hand with all of your favorite food. Come and join in on this fun-filled family night on Good Friday at Church on the Move, 901 West Brasher in Roswell, starting at 5:30 p.m. Martine's Capital Cafe in Roswell offers authentic and highly rated New Mexico food. Explore their amazing menu featuring huevos rancheros or asado with eggs or their green chili stew. And you can't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger, all made from scratch using their finest and freshest ingredients. Open for carryout with curbside delivery or limited dine-in. Just call ahead 624-2111. Martine's Capital Cafe, always pleasing the most refined palate. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th in Roswell.
Sure, you can inspect your own roof, get out that rickety ladder, crawl around up there and try to spot the problem until... Or you can call the experts at Do Right Roofing. Do Right Roofing has quality products for any type of roof. They can even install seamless gutters. Do Right Roofing will inspect your roof and give you a free estimate fast. Keep your feet on the ground. Call Do Right Roofing today.
575-623-2273. Let Do Right do your roof right.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin and Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin and Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin and Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The U.S. Treasury once considered producing donut-shaped coins. They instead decided to go with coin-shaped donuts. Here's Mike Winters.
And it's closing on 10 o'clock. That's about going to do it for us. If you missed any part of the show, go back to ksvptv.com into the Mornings with Mike Winters channel, and you'll find it all there. We'll be back bright and early, 7 a.m. tomorrow. Till then, take care.